and weight limits for commercial vehicles using public highways that's aimed at expediting the movement of goods. The strike is largely over pay and automation. President Biden declining to invoke his authority so far to force a cooling off period, instead urging a return to negotiations. He's been visiting Florida and soon heads to Georgia for more in-person briefings on Hurricane Helene recovery, a day after approving more federal storm disaster relief.
The federal government will cover 100% of the costs associated with things like debris removal, first responders, search and rescue shelters, and mass feeding.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre on Air Force One earlier. Helene is now blamed for at least 200 deaths in 6 states. Israeli forces pushing deeper into southern Lebanon, ordering 25 communities to evacuate today.
That's on top of 24 communities earlier this week that were ordered to evacuate. And now we're talking about major population centers that have tens of thousands of Lebanese residents. Yet another indication that Israel will continue their operations against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And this is not just a raid that will wrap up by the end of the week.
Fox's Trey Yingst in northern Israel as Israeli airstrikes also expand, targeting Hezbollah in multiple parts of Beirut. The U.S. still pushing for a ceasefire in Lebanon and in Gaza. No word yet on an Israeli decision on how to respond to this week's attack from Iran. America's listening to Fox News.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
No question it's warmer than it should be this afternoon. It's 82 for the high with lots of sunshine. This is a trend that will continue right through the weekend. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, dropping through the 70s, 58 for the low. Friday, sunny, 82 degrees. Again, Saturday, it's almost hot, 87 and sunshine. Sunday, sunny and 81. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Join us for our first ever Trade Day sale at Apache Village RV. So hook up your camper and join us Thursday through Saturday, October 10th through the 12th at both of our locations at 9001 Dunn Road in Hazelwood or 971 Wilmer Road in Wentzville for barbecue, beverages, and a free trade evaluation. We guarantee at least $1,000 over the national average for your trade-in with the purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. As this camping season winds down, save up to 25% off MSRP. These prices will never be better. Check out all of our new 2024 and 2025 Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors inventory. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance to win a $500 gift certificate to our parts store. For 3 years in a row, we have won the best RV dealer in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch headliners. Our commitment to you starts when you walk through the door. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, October 10th through 12th. Trade value dependent upon condition of trade unit at time of delivery.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
When we heard that Biden was just going to be, flying around, it kind of just made us feel like, as our president, where is that, guidance where, you're supposed to be kind of here helping us with this. And just almost it's almost a sense of abandonment, and like I said, it's mainly just the community coming together and helping each other out with all of this.
That is a victim of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina, wanting to know where the president is. Now, I've said before, and I will repeat this again, that I don't think that Joe Biden needs to be bailing water out of places and muck and gutting through the recovery process in order to be helpful. But you got to look at where this federal government, the Biden-Harris administration, is eager to approve funds in. I mean, I can't even. I'm like, how many zeros are on that number of money that we're shipping out? Your hard-earned tax dollars, sending it overseas to things that we're supposed to believe are in our best interest. And meanwhile, we're handing out $750 in hurricane relief to people that they have to access on the internet where they don't have electricity.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected. There are FEMA personnel who are going door to door to interact personally with folks, especially those who do not have electricity. But also that aid, if you have electricity, can be applied for online. And I encourage people to do that. FEMA will just basically verify your address, and then the process should take hold.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris there helping people by saying get on the internet. It's a little bit ironic. Corey Mills, is there a more in the middle of it, show up and show out person in the federal government right now than Corey Mills? This guy shows up and makes things happen on the regular, and he went to North Carolina.
That's really where the missing piece is the federal piece. And again, let's go ahead and point out the obvious, which is that FEMA had utilized a large majority of the personnel who should be here taking care of this to be replaced or repurposed, if you will, for immigration resettlement, when we need to be focusing on Americans and what's going on, whether it be in Maui, Palestine, Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, or Tennessee. But I'm actually working with great organizations like Mercury One, charity for Glenn Beck, Universal Air, as well as for Sentinel Foundation, and so many others. This is a group project where Americans are coming together to answer the call for Americans when the federal government fails to act.
So you have the opportunity by Corey Mills to talk about how these neighborhoods are really showing up to support one another, and they're waiting. It just seems as though hurricanes, you would think that the administration, this is what I can't figure out. You would think that the administration that is aroused by the idea of climate change, it's such a boon for them to be able to talk about climate change and raise money off of climate change. You would think, Brad, that the administration and the political party that is so excited about the idea of talking about climate change would be ready for hurricane season.
You would think that.
you would also think that they would be all over providing government assistance to people that need it. But I don't understand why they're not doing this. Actually, I kind of do understand why they're not doing this. And I really don't want to believe this is true, but I don't think that this bringing attention to this disaster, to their response to this disaster, is politically expedient. And that's what breaks my heart the most about it.
Because I feel like the disaster right before an election where they're not convincing those people that they're doing what they need to do in order to be helpful. How?
Man, I don't like the way I look at it is if the reporting is true that FEMA is running low on funds, and the reason that they're running low on funds is because they have been using FEMA resources to help resettle migrants from the border,
which they have.
And that's a problem that they created, that they don't have the resources available because they squandered them on something that is widely unpopular amongst the American people.
Forget about that. Non-Americans. It's an un-American thing to do for non-Americans when you leave Americans in the lurch.
Right. And so I think that if they say, hey, we want to help these people, but we can't help these people because we screwed up over here on this widely unpopular thing, that doesn't help them politically. So they're like, well, what if we just are quiet on this and hope it goes away?
They can't be that stupid. I don't have anything else to say other than they can't be that politically dumb, because this is right now, and you can lay the best case out for why Kamala Harris should be the president, Tim Walz should be the vice president. You can have a masterful campaign and have something like Hurricane Helene come in at the last second and wash away everything, no pun intended, that has been set in and invested in what, hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more. You can lose it all by mishandling a situation like this. Here's a tweet from Eric Schmidt. FEMA is set up to help Americans during natural disasters. Kamala and Biden used the money to house illegal immigrants. FEMA is now saying they are broke and can't help suffering Americans. This is worse than Katrina, yet the media is covering for the administration because of the election. I don't think that these images of people who are in the path of Helene are going to be quieted by a lapdog media that looks after this. This is the consequences of doing debates the way they've been done. I think America has watched these debates and gone, you guys are pretty much in the tank for them. Maybe that doesn't mean that they support Trump, but they're seeing it. It's so apparent. If you're actually taking the time to watch the debates, you're invested to some capacity in this election. You are seeing over and over and over again how the media is stacking the deck for Kamala Harris. And you're not seeing Kamala Harris show up. I mean, like, I think of a Pete Buttigieg. That guy. He seems like a nice man. I think he's probably a nice guy. His policies are crazy, but his political savvy is too good. When you see him talking, he has a way, if you don't listen directly to the words he's saying, he has a way of making you go, I feel good about this guy. So did Barack Obama. So does Josh Shapiro, who apparently was completely useless to Kamala Harris, which is just a wild and wonderful thing that she did. When you see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and you know that all the obstacles are being cleared from the runway for them for a nice and smooth and very, very simple textbook takeoff, but you don't see them out there looking, even like feigning, kind of faking the fact that they've earned it. They're not even trying to show you that they've earned it. They're not even trying to do the other half of the handshake deal between the lapdog media and the Democrats who are trying to gain power. They clear the runway for you, but you still gotta get the plane off the runway. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are absent. They're not participating. They're not making. It's like the media is doing everything they can for them, and then the media, all in unison, slowly and silently pivots to Kamala Harris, and then she doesn't know what to do or what to say, and Tim Walz just waves really, really fast and kicks. It's bizarre. It doesn't make sense. Now when everybody pivots to them, there is a massive hurricane that is run roughshod over our East Coast. Over 200 people are dead. And Kamala Harris says, we got $750, best I can do. I don't think that the lapdog media covers for that. I don't think that the media that is trying so desperately to keep Donald Trump out of the presidency, I don't think that there is a sideshow tap dance bait and switch show that they can put on that distracts enough from the incompetence. And I mean, this is the really extra offensive part, the apathy of the Biden-Harris administration and the Harris-Walz hopeful administration. They don't show up to show you that they care. They come late, and when they're there, they don't have the goods to deliver. And it's repeated. Brad, do you know anybody who really loves Kamala Harris and Tim Walz?
No, I haven't come across anybody who's like, these people are just great.
You couldn't avoid people who loved Hillary Clinton.
That's true, yeah.
You couldn't avoid people who were talking about Joe Biden, unifier.
Yeah.
Patriot.
Yeah.
Servant.
Yeah.
Public servant. Hello, Kamala Harris, Bueller? Where are these people? We live in Illinois.
Yeah.
They should be everywhere. Illinois should be crawling with these people. I don't know them.
I don't know anybody either, and I know people that were happy to vote, excited to vote for Joe Biden. I know people that were, like, stoked to vote for Hillary Clinton, and they just, it's like the malaise from Joe Biden's run has poured over into Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris hasn't been able to do anything or isn't capable of doing anything to get people excited. She does these couple rallies with a couple pop stars, has some big rallies.
They haven't even done that lately.
No, and then after that, it's just kind of poof, gone. She doesn't have any natural energy of her own.
You know, I just dramatic concern shifted into my head. You remember when Kamala Harris said she couldn't keep up with Joe Biden?
Uh-oh.
When Joe Biden was still running? She's got so much energy.
It's like, what if she wasn't lying?
Can't hardly keep up with him. Guys. Abort that mission. I want to take a quick break here, and I want to set up the YouTube live chat poll for you before we do. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P Diddy's alleged crimes? Do you want to know? Yes or no? Very simple. Some of you guys are saying that you don't care about Diddy on the YouTube live chat poll. I understand that. Some of you do. When we took the survey, the poll, it was a week ago, or a week and a half or so ago, and we asked if you were paying attention to the story. I think it turned out to be like 65. It was between 65 and 70% of you were saying you're absolutely paying attention to it. So we're going to pay a little more attention to it than I might normally put something that I felt was Hollywood aside for an extra conversation later in the show. I don't think that this is that. I think that this is bigger than just, Hollywood gossip. I think this is much bigger than that. So I'm paying a lot of attention to it. And y'all out there too said you were. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit from here and there. But I want to know if you are interested. Are you like, give me the names? I want to know the names. Or no, you're not interested in knowing those details. On the Annie Fry YouTube channel, whenever we ask these types of polls, it always helps us steer our coverage of stories like this a little bit. We care about what you think and what you want to talk about. And in a time like October of 2024, Lord knows there are so many stories to discuss. Thank you for keeping it here on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. We'll be right back with Cully Stimson of the Heritage Foundation. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Talk about windows and your replacement window project that you've got on your mind. Could you consider calling Window World to see how they can beat the competition in quality of window, the windows that are simply the best for less? That's why St. Louis has been choosing Window World for years and years. Online, you go to windowworldSTLouis.com. WindowworldSTLouis.com. And right now, when you reach out to Window World, you can access up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. This is a great opportunity to make sure that you get the best possible price, that you're able to do the full project as you see fit, and get wonderfully thermally efficient windows, beautiful windows, installed in your home with confidence that you're paying a great price for a great window. When you call the number 314-993-1800 and mention the Annie Fry Show, you are going to be entered to win 4 tickets to see the St. Louis Blues during their upcoming season from Window World. But you got to call and mention my show, call this number to be entered. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. WindowWorldSTLouis.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business, so the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service, we're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. New Perspective is just opening. I had the chance to take a tour and meet the staff. I got to tell you, this place is amazing. They offer state-of-the-art independent or assisted living as well as memory care. Imagine your loved one enjoying delicious meals, activities, entertainment, and even an AI fall detection system. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. That's npseniorliving.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Together, we can help those who've been affected by Hurricane Helene. Your financial donation to the Red Cross is the focus of this month's Conservatives Care. Visit redcross.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or text the word Helene to 90999. Message and data rates apply. This is the Annie Fry Show.
One way in the eyes of a passerby. I look around for another try.
He's a deranged person. I call him Deranged Jack Smith. He just lost the big documents case. That was the biggest of them all. They said the documents case, and they said that was the toughest of them all. Let me tell you, we just won it, and it was won strongly and completely, and it was a total victory in Florida. And he is a person who is trying, and he works for Kamala, and he works for Joe. This was a weaponization of government, and that's why it was released 30 days before the election. And it's nothing new in there, by the way, nothing new. They rigged the election. I didn't rig the election. They should have never allowed the information to come before the public. But they did that because they want to hurt you with the election. It's pure election interference.
Well, Donald Trump is saying that the newly released, unsealed indictment from Jack Smith, he had another one in that hat. That hat, it's like a Mary Poppins bag Jack Smith has with indictments against Donald Trump. He says Jack Smith is deranged and that it's election interference, which should come as a shock to absolutely nobody. But what is behind this? People are saying there are new details about January 6th, and shockingly, they just come out in October of 2024. Brand new information on January 6th today. What does this mean for Donald Trump? Is he in big trouble now? Because it always seems like everyone goes, oh. that's kind of the summation of these indictments. I'm not an expert. I'm no legal expert. I have lots of questions. So we're going to bring our friend Cully Stimson back on the show with us. He's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Thanks for being back with us, Cully. It's good to have you here.
Great to be with you again.
Are you gasping? Are you shocked that Jack Smith has found yet another way to bring a new indictment, a brand new indictment against Donald Trump for causing an insurrection on January 6th and trying to ruin democracy? Did I get that right?
Yeah, about as shocked as the sun comes up in the east and sets in the west and the water's wet. I mean, it's talk about a big nothing burger. It's also interesting, Annie, that it's as if the Supreme Court didn't issue their immunity ruling on presidential immunity last year. It's as if that never happened. And when you go through this new indictment, and I went through it, and you read the so-called highlights, which are no lights, it's as if the immunity ruling didn't happen, didn't apply to Jack Smith. And furthermore, as a Justice Department veteran, I thought the Justice Department had a rule in place that you won't file political cases within X months before a national election.
That's just for Democrats,
that
Cully.
To apply to Jack Smith. Oh, sorry. I didn't read that part of the rule.
You got to read the footnotes, Cully. It's right there in the tiny fine print.
Damn it. Yeah, I'll do that next time. I'll get on that.
Yeah.
If you look at, the Washington Post has a breathless article. I'll read it so you and your fans don't have to read it or pay the money to read it. One of their first breathless comments is that an aide, somebody, doesn't name who, 2 months before the election said words to the effect of, quote, make them riot, unquote. Explain to me how that is inculpatory against Donald Trump, who's the defendant in this case. Who is that? I mean, it's such a stretch. The next breathless piece, the Washington Post, allegedly uncovers in this indictment, which, by the way, the judge did not have to unseal, but she did. And the timing is pretty obvious why she did.
Yes.
It's to stir the pot politically. It has nothing to do with legal requirements.
Well, Cully Stimson. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, now I want you to finish your thought. Finish your thought.
It's that when January 6th was happening and Trump was told that, Mike Pence has been moved to a secure location, he says, so what? According to one person who's not named. How is that inculpatory? I mean, this is beyond a stretch. I don't even know what's beyond a stretch. This is beyond a stretch.
Cully Stimson with us right now at the Heritage Foundation, senior legal fellow there. The good, refreshing thing about this, though, Cully, is that Jack Smith wants to get all of this out there so that everybody can have a nice conclusion to this. We'll get this tried. We'll get this done. We'll find out if Donald Trump is guilty before the election so that voters can be informed as to whether he is, innocent until actually proven guilty. So the natural conclusion of this will come, obviously, before the election, which is why he would throw it out there in October, right?
Right, because even if they actually started an actual trial here in the swamp, in the old courthouse where I used to practice, it wouldn't be over before the election, given the number of witnesses they say they have in the interlocutory or during the trial appeals on rulings that Chutkan would make that they believe are wrong. So this case was never going to happen before November of the election. It absolutely was never going to ever happen this year after the Trump SCOTUS immunity ruling. And now the only reason to grant the prosecution the ability to file a superseding motion, which is 3 times longer than the local rules allow for, seal it, and then unseal it this week, is to poison the well and try and convict the person politically in the minds of the voters. There's no other reason to unseal that motion. Zero.
What happens if we can't get this tried before the election, what happens between now and November 5th? Are they going to be able to tie up Donald Trump's time in a courtroom while we are 33 days away from an election? What's the play here for Jack Smith and the Biden Justice Department?
Well, number one, there is no play because there's not going to be any real court action or substantive things going on in court between now and then. And so unless the judge tries to really play the heavy and force some type of another pretrial motion, but there's not going to be any jury. There's nothing that's going to happen between now and then, zero. And, of course, if Trump wins, then one would think that the Justice Department will withdraw some or most, if not all, of this case immediately once Trump gets into office. That he doesn't have the authority to do that to the state law cases. But if Kamala wins, well, I suspect they're going to be damn the torpedoes and go ahead. But look, this is going to go back up to the circuit court here in D.C., back up to the Supreme Court, because this so-called new indictment, I think, actually tramples on many of the immunity arguments, immunity provisions that the Supreme Court said they can't consider, especially when you look at it a witness-by-witness basis. So I don't think this is going to be seen a real courtroom or a conclusion for a long time, if ever.
So the political fallout of an October surprise of sorts, of a new indictment, is this a new indictment? Is that the right way to refer to it, of Donald Trump?
It's a new indictment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of a new
this is not an indictment, Annie. This is a motion discussing the new indictment and then a new indictment. Yes, it's both.
Okay. Well, extra cherry on top. There you go. Is the political fodder that it will be talked about on news shows of people who now are very troubled at the possibility of Donald Trump becoming the president? I mean, is that all that there is after this has been put out there? It seems like there's no more substance. It's this, and then the election, and then we find out what happens based on who wins the election.
Look, I think people are already starting to vote, and I think people are worried about gas, groceries, and rent, immigration, and crime. Those are the top issues, especially in the battleground states. I think when you look at, whether people care about a new, fresh, umpteenth try to prosecute him, I think it's going to be negligible, if anything, for anybody. And the only people it would further embolden are the people who already hate him and are going to vote for her. So I don't think it's going to have any effect at all.
We're speaking with Cully Stimson with the Heritage Foundation, where he is a senior legal fellow. I didn't tee this up with you through our producer, but I'm wondering, are you following the P Diddy case much?
A little, yeah. I am, just because, I used to be a prosecutor at the local, state, and federal level, and I married a child abuse prosecutor, so she's following it quite closely. So we talk about it at night. Yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot to discuss. What do you make, just from what you definitely have more legal experience, even if you haven't been paying a ton of attention to it, but how do you sum up the kind of trouble that P Diddy is in? And, we see a lot of, this is where I get hesitant, because a lot of influencers on X are saying, like, this is going to come out, turn on your notifications. So there's a lot of engagement farming, I believe, going on in the social media space and fodder, because people profit off of that. So I'm a little hesitant to throw myself into it. But it does seem as though P Diddy is in a world of trouble, and that there are connections that could be made known to the American public, and probably should be made known to the American public, about some of the things that he's alleged to have done. Yeah.
So I look at it two ways, Annie, and I respectfully suggest you and your folks do too. One is on the criminal side of the aisle. The other is on the civil side of the aisle. On the criminal side, like all defendants, he's presumed innocent, but the federal indictment's damning. And, the fact that he was denied bail says a lot. And, we've seen some of those videos, on the news where he beat up some poor lady in a hallway, et cetera. That's obviously disgusting. I can see no defense for that. But the gravamen of what is alleged is, essentially having a freak rave, ongoing sex parties, and having underage people involved in sex acts, and then trafficking in young people, either below the age majority or above the age majority, but without their knowing consent. And then the people around him who were facilitating that. And this wasn't a one or two time thing. Apparently this was an ongoing, pervasive action. And so the criminal case will play out. They'll, I'm sure, try to P. Diddy's team will try to convince the government that unless you back off or give us some kind of deal, we're gonna disclose stuff to other people. It's a sort of a form of blackmail. That's not going to work. And then on the civil side, the extent he's violated anyone's rights. I mean, you've seen the civil lawyer who's suing on behalf of multiple victims. In cases like that, Annie, once the cat's out of the bag and the perp is identified and other people step up and say, okay, oh, yeah, he did that to me, more and more people have the confidence to come forward. So I think he's financially done. Kaput.
Yeah. Well, there's this political world that is on fire right now with the campaign, and everybody's interested in what's going to happen with the presidential election. But the gravity of the other stories, what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on with Hurricane Helene, what's going on with our southern border, and then, of course, what's going on with that P Diddy situation. That's just like the most massive stories all shoved into one small news timeline. And I think that I always want to hear the legal thoughts on it, just to kind of temper down the sensational part of it that is easy to get caught up in on social media. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and look, if we had a squared away, competent president and a similar vice president, you wouldn't be having the problems you're having in the Middle East to the extent you are, or Ukraine. The mullahs in Iran wouldn't be saber rattling and encouraging people and launching missiles into Israel. You wouldn't have 13,000 or more convicted murderers who slithered across the border, and an equal or greater number of sex offenders who were convicted. And how many others did those types of crimes but haven't been convicted, or even the Border Patrol knows about? And so that's on them. And so in any normal year, they would be in deep, deep doo-doo politically, because people have had enough of this. But we live in vituperative, toxic times, and people are dug in, and the small number of persuadables is small. I just hope, for the sake of the country, that the election is decisive,
right,
one way or the other, so we don't have to go through this horrible cycle again.
I want to ask you before I let you go, Cully Stimson with us right now, because your book is about rogue prosecutors, how radical Soros lawyers are destroying America's communities. The idea of law and order, which is what the world you live in, law and order has been commoditized and politically used as capital over the last, definitely in 2020. That's when it seemed like everything was kind of tried to be blown to smithereens, so that when we put it back together, there's no way it could resemble what it used to be. But we're here in St. Louis, and I drive. I get off the bridge when I get from Illinois into Missouri. There is a tent city full of people. They've got like a nice flagpole now in the center of it with a nice flag. I don't even know how you get that into a homeless encampment, which is the first thing that you see, sign of life that you see when you come here. North City in St. Louis is completely ravaged. Buildings crumbling or being torn down. Sometimes they're left in rubble. There is brand new, massive graffiti all over the main stretch when you drive into St. Louis. And it is such a sad state of affairs to come downtown to a beautiful city that should be thriving. And, I think during an election year like right now, people are looking around at their beautiful cities and watching them waste away to nothing because people aren't willing to prosecute crime. And we see that every day here in St. Louis. I'm wondering if you feel like the temperature of the American people is shifting on that issue going into this election.
100%. St. Louis is not unique, unfortunately. Look at San Francisco, L.A., New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. They've become crime hellholes. They've become dystopian wastelands, and that's because Democrat soft-on-crime policies and Soros rogue prosecutors see the defendants and the criminals as the victims, which they're not. They ignore real victims. They ignore state constitutional provisions protecting victims. Businesses are leaving the city. Businesses are moving their workers out of the city. This has to change. Otherwise, we cease being America, period.
Amen to that. Cully, very well said. I encourage people to check out your book, Rogue Prosecutors, as well, because this is how we got to get our country back. And it's really from the bottom up. When you're talking about prosecutors in cities, Donald Trump can become the president, Kamala Harris can become the president, but St. Louis has been doing these types of things for quite some time, regardless of the president. There's been a deterioration here, and like you said, not unique in the country. The bottom up is the way to go, and your book is a great example of calling that into the spotlight. Thanks for being with us today, Cully. We love having you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Annie.
We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. He is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also former United States Navy JAG officer. Pretty sweet. Quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins, I think what he's going to talk about is a personal affront to me, and I believe that because he was pretty excited about it when he picked the topic yesterday. How to get picky eaters to expand their palates. Thanks, buddy. Come on in and educate me, which is really what Wiggins does every day, isn't it? We'll be right back.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group, my friends Bob and Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig, they're waiting for your phone call to set up your free retirement review. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. When you reach out to the Retirement Advisory Group or you visit them online at retirementkey.com, you're quickly going to understand why so many 97.1 listeners, so many Annie Fry Show listeners have answered the call to hear what the Retirement Advisory Group has to say. They've never had a client lose a penny of their nest egg, and they want to make sure that you become one of them so that you can enter into your retirement with an exhale, with the understanding that you don't have to worry about it. Being worry-free in retirement, that's the dream, isn't it? 314-993-9494. Reach out to Thomas Helbig, to Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw. When you go see them, you're going to have a free sit-down conversation. They're going to give you a free retirement review and a copy of their latest book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. And when you leave, there's no obligation to do anything. Got nothing to lose. Maybe just a little bit of time, but I bet you'll be glad you did it. RetirementKey.com.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
The YouTube live chat poll today, do you want to know the names of the people connected to P. Diddy's alleged crimes? Yes or no? Let us know today by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Today's date will come up. You click on that. You'll see the live stream and the question's all right there on YouTube. 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Freedom of thought. Freedom of speech. It's defended here on your home for conservative talk and conservative values. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
Speaking of peeing the night away. Can I have to say something.
Okay.
What's happening on your upper body right now?
Okay. I thought this might happen.
It needs to happen immediately.
I told
if
you
you've
it'd
never
happen.
tuned into the Annie Fry YouTube chat, you need to weigh in, people. I'm going to end the current YouTube poll, and the new YouTube poll is going to be going, what is going on with Ryan's shirt?
That's
I don't
fine.
know, and I don't know.
You can weigh in. I can tell you there's a very, very good explanation.
Good.
I have won a major award.
Uh-huh.
And
So you feel like you can do whatever you want?
No, not at all. I have to dress up because tonight I have to go out to eat.
Do you have a change of clothes?
No, this is dressed up. I'm wearing a collar. See? I had to wear a collar to this thing.
I think the Playboy bunnies wore collars.
So I'm dressed up. I got this shirt. It's a very, very nice, expensive shirt. I got it at Dan Flash's.
How much did you pay for that?
This is like a $150 shirt. And it's because
Did
the
they
pattern.
pay you to take it off their hands?
I didn't buy it. My friend bought it for me for my birthday.
As a joke?
The pattern is so complicated.
You got it. Someone gave it to you for your birthday as a joke.
No, this is a very real shirt. My
Ethan,
friend who loves me gave me this from Dan Flash's.
I think that it would be fair to the people that aren't on the YouTube, the YouTube stream right now to perhaps give them. Ryan, why don't you try and explain the print on this shirt
And then,
to the people?
Ethan, you can translate it.
Yeah, sure.
For people.
It's hard to explain because the point is that it's so complicated that you can't explain it.
It looks like 1993 pipe game that you'd play on Windows.
Well, maybe that's a part of it, but the pipes are going in and out. There's crescent moons
There's also
all
moons.
over the place.
There are pipes and moons.
There's so much, and some of the designs in it, that you could get like this are so complicated that they're like $1,000, $500,000
It's
shirts.
black with purple accents. The collar's purple and little gold crescent moons. You know what I said when he first walked in this morning? I said it looked like you have your bowling league tonight. That's what I said. And he didn't
These
really
things
like that comment.
They sound negative because what I'm doing is I'm dressing up I'm going out to eat with the bosses tonight. And I'm trying to impress people because normally I just wear T-shirts and stuff.
What do you think you're
nice
getting?
shirt.
What kind of promotion do you think you're getting out of this shirt?
Oh, I don't know that I'm getting a promotion. I think this is just honoring the work that I currently do.
I think you've actually said something real there.
Did you wear your fancy cologne? Your Johnny
Don Juan,
Johnny Donkin and the Funky Bunch?
No, I didn't bring. I forgot to spritz and run through it this morning.
You pull out a shirt like that and you don't even get your Johnny Donkin and the Funky Bunch.
No,
cologne.
Maybe I'll go by a store on the way.
People are saying it looks like a Microsoft screensaver, which is true because there is a depth to it.
That seems so.
Like
I
the closer
agree,
to the chest, the
but
bigger
the way
it gets.
that they're saying it sounds rude. Like I agree that yes, this looks like a screensaver, but it's supposed to draw you in the way a screensaver does. The way that you go, oh wow,
it's
lots going on.
It's definitely drawn
here.
us in.
Yeah,
There's a
thank
lot
you.
going on.
Thank you.
Yeah. You gonna give it a little peekaboo there? Oh my lord,
the
it's
whole
worse
thing?
than the bottom. I can't even believe this shirt exists.
Yeah, it was a birthday gift from a dear friend, and I appreciate it. And I'm gonna wear it proudly tonight, and I'm gonna accept my award.
Is your friend around here? Do they listen to the show?
Probably. I don't know if he's listening right now, but
I'd like to hear from him an explanation of your friendship.
I would,
What's the this is the way to find out. What's the last thing you gave him?
my business. Because
wait, you mean like you handed your business over to him,
no,
or you? That's not a gift.
I gave him my patronage.
That's not a gift.
And he gave you the shirt in return?
He bestowed his
What's the
patronage
last
upon
birthday gift you gave your dear friend?
That's a good question. I think I got him a gun case.
Does he have a gun?
I'm not sure, but if he
But
doesn't,
I got a really good deal on it.
now he's got a reason to go get the gun.
Is this like a gun rack joke?
No, it's not at all. It was a
gun?
really cool case. It was like an old-fashioned, like Western gun case that was
Wait,
like made of wood.
You have your hands wide. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking pistol. This
No,
is
no,
like
it was
rifle.
big.
The big one.
Shotgun.
Yeah, it was a big
Yeah,
one.
okay, all right.
Yeah. So I assume he had a gun. I don't know. I don't see it because he keeps it in a case.
Probably takes a lot of space up at his place.
So he got me this, and I appreciate it. His name is Dr. Ty Parker, Fountain Family Dentistry.
You're going to charge him for that, aren't you?
We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, yeah, I'll let you guys know. how it goes tonight and like what the higher ups say about us.
If you've listened to the show for a while, you know that I was emceeing and hosting a Lincoln Day dinner for the Madison County Republicans, and unbeknownst to us, Ryan Wiggins had knocked over Cliff Huxtable and stolen one of his sweaters, and he showed up wearing that sweater. It's a legendary sweater. When you came home, you hadn't seen your wife. When you came home and you walked in the door at home wearing that sweater, it's the first time she saw you. After you had attended an event that I was professionally running, you walked in and your wife saw you, and her words?
Oh, no. And that's real. I walked in. I didn't say anything. I just said, hey, we're home from the event. And she was doing something. She's looking at her laptop. And she glances up, does the oh, you're here, and then double take. Oh, no.
This shirt is worse than the sweater.
This shirt's worse? How can that be?
I know. I can't believe it either.
I'm very proud of this shirt. And plus, I dressed up. This is me going up a level.
Are you wearing jeans?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm wearing jeans.
You're not dressed up.
I wore a little bit nicer shoes. See?
Did you get those from a dead guy?
So when you looked at your closet this morning, what's going through your mind? What's the decision-making process?
There are people who will claw at the door waiting to get in to get these kind of shirts. People.
They're homeless.
That seems I understand what you're saying, but that seems rude. Because this is a really nice shirt. Again, this is
I
like
do
a
kind of feel bad
$150
for saying
shirt.
that, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
I will sometimes forgo my per diem just to pay for these kind of expensive shirts.
Have you ever in your life had a per diem?
Maybe once.
You have a per diem on this show, and it's a per diem of oatmeal cream pies.
That's usually Fridays. But this is a decision that I made today.
Absolutely. That was a choice.
And
that doesn't just happen.
And I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go to this very nice dinner tonight with not just our boss, but our boss's boss. And they're
Who's
going to. This is Steve. This is Becky.
Oh. I was thinking Becky, and then above that.
Oh no. And then we're going to sit down, and then I've already gotten a couple comments where people said...
Has Becky seen you? She's super into fashion. You're in trouble.
No, that's why I wore this, because Becky is into fashion. We've had salespeople walk by me, and you know what they said? They said, nice shirt.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And they seemed...
Did they say it like that?
Yeah, they did. And I said, thank you very much. And I went about my day feeling great. And then I come in here for Wiggins America, and you guys are just dumping all over this super expensive Dan Flash's shirt that people can't seem to wrap their mind around because it's so complicated. The pattern is so complicated. And I can tell you that this isn't the only one. If you were to go to a store that had these kinds of shirts, they just go up in price from there because the patterns get more and more complicated.
Oh. So this is the baseline.
Yeah, this is just the basic one.
Wow.
So what's going to happen tonight is I'm going to probably sit down. This is what I'm picturing. I don't know. But I'm going to sit down at the dinner. They're going to say, Ryan, you and the others here, we want to honor the terrific work that you've done here at Odyssey St. Louis. They're going to hand over some sort of golden calf or some sort of award with my name on it. I'm going to say thank you.
What is the award?
It's Odyssey's Q3 award. Brad won it last quarter.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
There is no... The dinner is the
You don't
the
get
award.
a statue or anything?
No. It's like, hey, thanks for doing a great
What do you
job.
think you're doing tonight? That shirt, and then you're going to some sort of pagan worship?
Oh, no. I was going to feel weird about the golden calf. That was kind of what I was going to say. But Brad says we don't win anything anyway. We just
you
win.
get a really nice dinner.
Okay.
And it's really fantastic.
But they honor you. You stand up, you give a speech.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you're supposed to do that as soon as everybody sits down.
Ting the glass, get everybody's attention.
No. It's understood that you go first, and you start it. Someone has
Why
to
do
start
I go
it.
first? Reverse alphabetical order?
It's the shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the shirt. It's the W in Wiggins.
So reverse alphabetical
First be
order.
last,
as long
and last
as
be first.
Yeah, okay. As long as Don Zims isn't here.
You need to.
Actually, Rachel Zimmerman will be there, so I'll probably let her go first.
Okay.
Since we're doing reverse alphabetical
I'll
order.
talk to her and see if she'd like to let you lead off her. She's
okay.
She might need a little bit of a warm-up.
How long of a speech are we talking about? 10, 15 minutes?
Read the room.
Okay. I'm good at that. I am very good at that. So
Scooter
thank you.
wants to know, why isn't the rest of the AFS going to the event to honor Mr. Wiggins?
They didn't
He's
win.
new here.
They didn't win a major award.
No.
Brad did last month.
Ethan and I are not allowed.
No. So, anyway, I just want to thank everybody.
Brad said to me before the show, he goes, "Don't worry, Annie, you'll win it sometime."
I agree with that, Brad.
Is that a promise or a threat?
Yeah. It's an honor just to be nominated.
It is, always.
And to the fact that you win, and you go to get to eat steak and you get to cut it off of a skewer, I think. It's just an honor. Like, I don't know what.
Is this like a little tease for your speech tonight?
Oh, no. That's already written.
All right.
Got it. Okay.
Well, if you go to Annie Fry Show on X, I have tweeted out a photo of this shirt. And if you give us your feedback on my X account, maybe in the 2 o'clock hour, we'll actually do Wiggins America and read some of the thoughts.
We'll read the room.
On the shirts. That's my job. At least just this room.
You do a good job.
That's the craziest shirt I've ever seen. Tyrus. Oh, I'm going to ask Tyrus. I'm sending it to him right now. We'll be right back.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at IGotFloored.com. If you are interested in purchasing flooring, make sure that you understand Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to make your experience a smooth one, an investment that you can be confident in. And they are located in 3 different places across St. Louis where you can shop at your convenience. Maybe this weekend you can start it online at IGotFloored.com, or you can visit them in Darien Prairie. You can find them in West County. They're right there on Olive Boulevard, just 1 mile off 270 West on Olive, or you can go visit them in St. Charles County at Main Street in Old Town St. Peters, at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. Michael's Flooring Outlet has the products that you want. They have the service that you need to make sure that the job is completed in a way that is absolutely satisfactory to you, and then you become somebody who wants to brag about the beautiful new flooring that you have gotten from Michael's Flooring Outlet. If you're in the market for flooring, shop with our friends at Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloored.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's
The president's on the ground in Florida. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's getting a briefing on Keaton Beach, surrounded by piles of debris, only about 50 miles from where Hurricane Helene made landfall 1 week ago. President Biden will also be in Georgia today after visiting the Carolinas yesterday, approving more federal storm relief as the cleanup efforts try to make way for recovery.
In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis says some supply sites are shutting down.
A lot of these areas that are recovering, the stores are open and people do have access to things.
It's not the same in Georgia. National Guard Major General Richard Wilson still has his people out.
2,000 soldiers, airmen, and volunteers from our state defense force assisting over 30 counties.
Mainly with debris clearance and movement of supplies. In the hard-hit North Carolina mountains, Buncombe County Manager Avril Pender says needs are being met as best they can.
The pharmacies have been great in delivering medications. The biggest needs are water and gas for generators.
Deaths have passed 200 in the affected states.
Fox's Gernal Scott, hundreds remain unaccounted for. There's concern a port strike could hamper recovery efforts and affect food prices. For now, Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says the stoppage should have a minimal impact, but that could change depending on how long it lasts.
A lot of what we're talking about in terms of the ports are in containers. And so it's going to be difficult to get to the containers based on the fact that there's a work stoppage there. That's why the president has urged the shippers in particular to focus on getting this thing resolved and making sure that the collective bargaining system works.
President Biden resisting calls from many trade groups to invoke his authority and force a cooling off period. California's health department just confirming a possible human case of bird flu, someone who had contact with infected dairy cattle. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No question it's warmer than it should be this afternoon. It's 82 for the high with lots of sunshine. This is a trend that will continue right through the weekend. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, dropping through the 70s, 58 for the low. Friday, sunny, 82 degrees. Again, Saturday, it's almost hot, 87 and sunshine. Sunday, sunny and 81. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Thursday. I got a bone to pick with this week. Every minute of this week has felt like Thursday evening.
I agree.
I sent an email. Well, I didn't send. I wrote an email reply to Charles, our sales manager, this morning, and it was a reply all to another salesperson in Charles. And I was writing it, and then it said, Happy Friday. And then I went to send. I'm like, wait a second. It's not Friday.
You know what the problem is?
I was shocked.
This isn't the first time this has felt like all of last week felt that way too, because we had a Ruler Foods remote right in the middle of the week, and it felt like, oh, okay, you come back, you do Friday. Well, we had extra day then, so my weeks are way off.
I don't understand it. I don't know why I don't feel grounded this week, but it's felt like Thursday all week, and now it is finally Thursday. And generally speaking, I measure my Thursdays by getting to talk to Tyrus. If I know that if I talk to Tyrus, that it's Thursday. So let's do that and make it officially Thursday.
My most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Tyrus, you know him as a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor. He's a host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick, and his latest book, which is a must-read. Enough said. Go get it right now. Tyrus, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Always a pleasure.
Did you sit down and watch the debate? I saw you tweeting it. The VP debate. What'd you think?
I was underwhelmed. I think Walt, considering Harris's and Biden's performances, did great. And J.D. Vance didn't do anything to me, in my opinion, to push the issues of the importance of this election. He made it sound like Tim Walz was a likable guy, and I kind of have issue with that, given the fact that Walz in this ticket likes to run on saying how a danger of democracy that Trump is. They basically called him Hitler on several occasions. They've ramped up rhetoric even after 2 assassination attempts. So I kind of felt like this wasn't the debate to be shaking hands and making friends.
So did you want to see? Did you want to see a fight a little bit?
I wanted to see accountability. Like the January 6th thing, the no answer You don't have to be a VP to say, listen, I think we've settled January 6th. Everyone involved is literally under the jail. But since you're so concerned with democracy, let's talk about the last 3.5 years we've been running this country. I don't think it's that hard to do. You knew the president was unfit to serve, and yet you guys continue to run this shadow thing where you make group decisions and stuff like that. Why not bring that up? I didn't feel like oh hey, if you beat me, I'll help you any way I can. And that's not this election. They have taken all guns out, literally, and have done everything they can to. So what it ends up looking like is where JD is agreeable with them, and so when President Trump comes out and he attacks them on the things that they are attacking him on, well, JD didn't see it that way. So again, you look at the VP is supposed to be the extension of the president. I get that. But if you're not willing to be the pit bull and attack when they do things that hurt the president, by you being very lackadaisical about it, it makes when President Trump comes out and he speaks to these things, is it rhetoric? Because we're not hearing it from Jay. Is there that much division, or is this all? That's why it didn't connect to me in terms of, like I said, yeah, he talked well, but that's not hard to do considering what we're up against. The bar is so low,
right?
So again, like I said, everyone was, he was eloquent and this and that. These are the things that we already knew. I just didn't feel like it was in line with the rhetoric that we've been hearing. And and I get it, it's 3 against 1, but you knew that going in, and his strong suit was his ability to do it. Like I said, he had great answers and stuff, but when it came to the stuff that was attacking the president, there was no counterattack. There was opportunities to really hone in on what Walsh was saying and missteps and whatever. And I just find it hard to believe that as a man who served, and you have another guy who's using fake valor for his entire career, that it was just that easy to shake hands and be friends with him. I just had a problem with that.
Yeah.
And I'm just keeping it real.
I appreciate that. And Tyrus, I think that kind of tracks with what I felt was the philosophy behind J.D. Vance's appearance, because I appreciate that, and I love the fight. You and I are in the details of the daily grind of news and politics. I think that the Trump Vance campaign knows they're doing better with most voting blocks than they traditionally have in the past. But the one area where they seem to struggle a little bit is with those suburban women, of which I am one. And I, talk to a lot of them in my daily life. And I think that they wanted to soften things for those women. But if that were actually the purpose and the goal, I completely understand why that would be off-putting to you, because maybe you weren't the target audience for J.D. Vance's performance. And the people, because that seems to be the main takeaway is, that was really nice and lovely, which is a weird thing to say after a debate.
Yeah, like I said, had it not been for the rhetoric that we've heard and the fact that the media is allowed to run, the fact that January 6th was the question,
yes,
the answer should have been, this is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? We got a war going on in Israel right now. We got Ukraine. We have the border, and this is what you want to talk about, the one thing that we have settled. I just didn't. To me, there was an opportunity there to show that not only I'm in line with the president, that I also am in the same fight as the president, and I think you can still do that in a nice way. And I need to call him names, but he did need to. There wasn't enough pushback on a lot of the false stuff, especially when we got into January 6th. I thought that was, and the whole thing where they did not accept the election. He didn't help anybody there. So if you were trying to get suburban people, and yeah, he's nice, but the other guy won't even accept the election. So again, if he was running for office for the top spot, I guess he did a good job of showing that he was friendly and he wants to to work with everyone. But when we're dealing with the level of, we have 3 major networks after your ticket, you're running against that they have absolutely no line. There's no line they won't cross when it comes to President Trump. So I think when they're throwing that type of shade, I think you got to fight a little bit. Again, you can do it classy. I'm not saying he's got to yell and scream and get a vein popping on his forehead, but you should be able to answer, listen, given the amount of stuff, what person in their right mind wouldn't think that election was rigged? 2 Russiagates, 2 fake impeachments. Every time he did something, they called him Hitler. They were literally doing TV commercials asking delegates to give back their votes.
Yeah.
So I think if there was anyone that had any normal human being would look back and be like, yeah, this was rigged. They held off the laptop. There was a lot of issues to say that they went out of their way to influence this election, and that doesn't make you a nut job. That makes you just being observant. And you can say he can feel, the president, based on the way how much issues he went through, it is a hard pill for him to swallow, and it would be a hard pill for anyone to swallow. But obviously, he left office, and he wouldn't be running again if he won. So, I mean, it's just an ignorant question. Can we move on?
Yeah.
And that's just me. I didn't like those answers. I thought those were pivotal, because if that group you're talking about, if they're sitting down to watch the first time, they're going to say, oh, he's still doing that.
Did you like that he pushed back on the fact check? They were not supposed to be fact checks. They fact checked it in a half truth, which was intended to deceive. And he plowed through the thing until they cut his mic. Did you like that?
Like I said, the first 40 minutes of the debate, I don't think he could have done any better. And I was like, no, this is a blowout. And just like what happened, the last 40 was all Tim Walz. He allowed him to, even though everyone's talking about, I misspoke and I'm a knucklehead. Again, when it's him saying, they like, oh, gotcha moment, it really wasn't, because he's been doing this the entire time and it's never held to the fire. That would have been a good time to bring up the fact that, well, I don't know why you're holding him to account on this one. I mean, he literally said he served in Iraq. I mean, there's a lot, and as a guy who has served this country, I was like, how come for? I just don't get it. Maybe it would have taken some of the heat off the president, or at the same time to be like, JD's seeing the same thing that President Trump's seeing. And I think that's important to independent voters, because, again, they're going to say, oh, well, J.D. Vance didn't agree with that. Tim Walz is a good guy. And that's all they want. That's all they need. They're not voting. I mean, to me, I just think it was a better day for Walz at the end than it was for JD.
Yeah, I think it's a great hot take.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it, America. I don't care. That's how I feel it. That was from my perspective. If you want to say it was great, cool. No issue here.
That's why you're here, Tyrus, and that's why people love you. I want to shift. I have 3 minutes left here, but you've lived in the South. You've experienced tornadoes, tornadoes that come with hurricanes. Yeah. In the Midwest, we deal with tornadoes. We live on a fault line. We've never had the big earthquake that we've heard many times that we're supposed to have, but we know what tornado devastation looks like. This hurricane is like a million tornadoes that just ripped across the East Coast. I want your honest assessment of the federal government's response to the hurricane so far, and give us some reality of what it's like to be in this situation.
Okay, well, pretty much the same thing. It's a funny thing about wind, it seems, with our federal government. When our homes are under 4 feet of water, and you have those images on TV, it seems like they're more, you see FEMA jumping in. And then when it's wind damage, it doesn't seem to be quite the same effort. Now, I've heard a lot of reports of how they're spread thin with dealing with other issues of what's going on in Hawaii. And apparently a lot of them have been focused over to the illegal aliens coming into this country. So a lot of people that are on the ground are experiencing the same thing that I experienced in Mandeville when all of the trees were ripped to hell. And there wasn't a lot of water damage, but there was a lot of wind damage. And that's when the insurance companies were like, well, we don't have wind damage for this and you don't have that. So they, and if FEMA doesn't make it a national disaster, the insurance companies don't have to do as much as they have to do. So unfortunately, again, it goes back to another misstep, or it's not even a misstep. It's just blatant. We just have an inept White House across the board, and what should be. But again, what always comes down to, it's the entrepreneurs and it's the just regular Americans jumping in and helping out and doing GoFundMes. And I've got buddies in South Carolina who are loading up with bottles of water and gasoline and driving in and doing all this stuff. So luckily, this is happening in America with regular American people who are willing to jump in and help out. Elon Musk is getting involved. President Trump was bringing supplies. And I think it's funny that and this is, again, goes back to the JD thing. Even when the president he brought tons of stuff. The mainstream media, it's just laughable to me, But again, where is FEMA? Where are the jackets? I didn't see one the entire time in Louisiana when we went through. And a lot of families still aren't back. A lot of homes, they're still in shambles. The insurance companies seems to me the most important person to FEMA is the insurance companies.
Yeah.
So how they list things and how they cover things, it's a tropical storm opposed to it's not a hurricane. So they find ways to, unfortunately, this is where we're at with this administration. When you have DEI hires everywhere, when people really need qualified people to do it, looks like it's coming from the private sector. So, I mean, at least the good side is that the government's not there, but the American people are there, and they're kicking in and getting involved.
Tyrus, thanks for that perspective, because I know that you've experienced it. Before we let you go,
watched it firsthand.
And hate for anybody to have to go through that. We've played 162 games of baseball, and Boston and St. Louis are both golfing right now. So I'm looking at this. Boston finished at an even 500. And the Cardinals had them by 2 games at 83 and 79. So I think you have a St. Louis Cardinals hat coming your way.
Yes, I've already ordered it. So.
I'll send you a hat. I'll send you a sweet hat.
No,
Tyrus.
I need to make sure. I don't mind wearing a Cardinals hat, but it will be stylish to my specifications.
You don't think that I can send you a stylish Cardinals hat directly from Busch Stadium?
Well, one of the things that came up when you had the guest host in is he had brought up apparently your issues with style.
Oh God! Have you seen? You get on Twitter right now and you see the shirt that Ryan Wiggins is wearing right now. It looks like a screensaver from 1995, Windows 95. I need you to tell me.
Maybe you should take that up with them. But yeah, size 8, please.
I've already got one picked out for you. We appreciate you, Tyrus. Everybody loves when you're on the show, and we're really always grateful that you give us the time each week.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. Tyrus, really, I think that was a direct shot at you, Ryan Wiggins. I think that maybe he saw that tweet.
No, I think that.
What did you say about me when I was not here?
I don't remember. It was mostly negative. I really don't remember.
Hold on a second. Let me imagine that. I got it. Okay, go on. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. We did talk about you like quite a bit, though.
He's referenced it maybe 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, we had a good time.
And I was at home with a migraine in a drug-induced coma trying to get through it. And you were here talking smack on me with Tyrus?
Well, that's the only time, like when you're really out of it is the only time I get a chance to really, really go for it. And the problem is most of your guests like you. Tyrus is willing to entertain the idea that maybe you're awful.
Wow.
That's not true, Tyrus.
Ryan, that is not what I gained from that. Tyrus just let you do your thing.
I don't actually
remember. And then reported back to Annie.
I don't know. We had a good time, though. Like, it was only that one time.
You had a good time, and that's a good shirt.
It's true. Like, it was the week after, I remember, Tyrus was referencing that I was really dogging on you about something. I don't remember what it was. But
y'all went to town, and I still haven't gone back and listened to the podcast, which is on me.
Yeah, it is, because I really don't remember what it was. I mean, we were just having fun, but like me and Tyrus. I think Tyrus honestly kind of like throws the line in the water a little bit, and then I just bite.
I should try that sometime.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
This show is going to get back on track with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, and you need to get out of here and not disrespect this room with that shirt while Keith Kellogg is on the air with us. And then you can come back in and maybe hit us at 1:45 with Wiggins America, or do you need more time than that since we took it away from you?
I don't know. I want you to take as much time as you need with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg.
That's kind of you. Thank you for the elbow room.
Who loves you, by the way. And then we'll
Have
just
you
see.
had private conversations with the general?
Oh, I talk to all these guys. Yeah, we text.
Is that why they come on the show, or why it's sometimes hard for Brad to book them?
That's why.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg on the Andy Fry Show, unless Ryan gets to him first. We'll be right back.
I can shoot as quick and straight as anybody can, but I wouldn't shoot without a cause.
This is the Andy Fry Show.
Down, but she cried again as he rolled
Follow
away.
Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Don't take your guns to town, son. Leave your guns at home, Bill. Don't take your guns to town. He sang a song.
Ruler Foods, you find them online at rulerfoods.com. Saving on your groceries has never been more important than it is right now. And we're hearing about supply chain potential problems that may or may not affect wherever you go to grocery shop. If you're looking to save on those things that you traditionally buy at the grocery store, fresh produce, if you're looking to save on red or white seedless grapes, love them in our family. Those, we just go through those like crazy. They're $1.47 a pound right now. If you're looking to save on like regular paper goods that you buy for your house and get those Kroger brands that come at Ruler Foods prices, or fresh meat or frozen foods or dairy or whatever it is that you traditionally buy, they have a great bakery section. You go to Ruler Foods and you're going to be able to afford to fill that cart in ways that you traditionally can't at many other grocery stores. They have a big $4 for $5 savings on right now on Smart Way pasta sauce, Smart Way dressing, Hunt's Manwich or Joe's Ole Chimichangas, on Kroger Deluxe mac and cheese or Knorr pasta. These are just extra ways to save, and you can always see all the ads that highlight the extra savings by visiting them online at rulerfoods.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Thursday afternoon, why did Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey mention my friend John Ziegler's name in court this week? Zig will join us to explain.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Let me see where I've been.
Iran, it's public now. I mean, we've been aware of it in our confidential or classified briefings. Iran is supporting Kamala Harris. They want her to win. That's out there. That's not classified information. They have assassination teams in the United States trying to kill President Trump. Meanwhile, the Biden administration, and Maria, if people tell you that he's getting the same level of Secret Service protection, they're lying to you. He has more manpower now, but he's still being denied defensive assets, things that can be used that President Biden and Vice President Harris get. President Trump still doesn't get, and we know they're trying. The Iranians want to kill President Trump. So they want Harris to win. They want to kill Trump. They're leaking information. So it's very obvious that Iran doesn't feel like they're going to suffer any consequences from that, and that is a direct result of Joe Biden's weakness.
Well, that is our senator here in the state of Missouri, Senator Eric Schmitt, talking about not just the threat of Iran towards Israel, which we've seen manifest itself in like 180 missiles launched toward the entirety of Israel this week, but also apparently a threat from Iran on our home front to the man who is trying to become the president of the United States in 33 days on our election day. The power and the pervasiveness of Iran is a significant issue right now in this election, and we want to get to the bottom of it with our next guest. Our friend Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joins us once again, a former national security advisor to the Trump administration, as well as the co-chair of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. General, thank you for being back with us today. It's really great to have you here to get to the bottom of some of these amazingly awful stories.
Annie, thanks for having me. Good to be with you again.
Thank you so much. I want you to give us, what do you want the average American voter right now to understand about Iran and Iran's relationship specifically with the United States of America?
Yeah, I'm going to really make it really simple. Iran is bad, America is good. And we remember that these guys are sponsors of Iran. They're sponsors of terrorism. They're the ones who provide the weaponry and the training to Hamas in Israel, the ones who attacked Israel on 7th of October. They're the ones who supply the training and the equipment to Hezbollah, who are up in Lebanon, who continually shell Israel. They're the ones who support the Houthis, who continually try to shell our ships at sea in the Red Sea and disrupt our commerce. These are the same ones who are providing drone technology to Russia as they attack Ukraine. These are bad people. You know, when somebody stands up like they do, their supreme leader and their parliament say, death to Israel, death to America, as Golden Meir, the former prime minister of Israel, said before, when somebody says they want to kill you, believe them. So this is a country, which is actually a terrorist-sponsor state, that does not like the United States of America. And for the life of me, I cannot see why we try to have some level of moral equivalence with these people. We should be with Israel fighting back as hard as they are. We should be full square behind what Israel is doing. And you have this administration talking about an equilibrium, but basically saying, well, we don't think you should have an extreme reaction or some type of escalation of the fight against Iran. Wrong. These people are bad, and we should address that.
We heard President Joe Biden, he was delivering, I think it was reaction to Hurricane Helene from the White House. And then the press got a couple of questions, and like maybe 1.5 questions. It was before the missile launch from Iran into Israel. And he reiterated the phrase ceasefire now. And that was directed, I assume, towards Israel. What is the current position of the Biden-Harris administration on making sure that what we see in the Middle East doesn't spiral into World War III?
Well, if you held up a blank sheet of paper, you got their strategy. There isn't one. All they're saying is, when they talk about ceasefire now, that is so foolish, because there's not going to be a ceasefire now. It's almost like them saying to the Israelis, you need a two-state solution with the Palestinians. That's not going to happen in the near term, especially what happened after 7 October. You know, I remind Americans that, you know, that's a real split there. But remember, think back of our American history. You know, after the American Civil War, it took 11 years for the South to re-engage and reunify with the North. You're going to see the same thing happen with the Palestinians in Gaza and that whole region. This thing is not going to end overnight. Now, I will tell you, Annie, the culpable people on this is the Biden administration. You know, when we left the administration 4 years ago, when we walked out of the White House, we had the Abraham Accords. There was no war in the Middle East. There was no war in Europe between Ukraine and Russia. We had China fairly well under wraps. We had North Korea under wraps. We addressed all of them collectively and individually, and we felt pretty comfortable where we were moving to in national security. We almost had to deal with the Saudis, to have normalization of relations with Israel, which I think is going to be key. Now this is an organization, the Biden organization, calls Saudi Arabia a pariah state. What happened because of that? Biden goes to Saudi Arabia, gets a fist bump from the crown prince, and Trump gets a sword dance. It's a difference. So there's really no plan. And as a result of that, by the way, anywhere, they have not got it. They have Biden administration, Harris administration. They don't have a plan for solving the problem in the war in Europe. They don't have a plan for the Middle East. They don't have a plan for handling China. They just don't have a plan for anything. They just hope that everybody whistles past the graveyard and it'll go away. It's not going to go away. It's a bad world. It's a dangerous world. Whether you like it or not, you have to address it. And I think we did that fairly well. I don't think they have. And because of that,
what you got in the Middle East, and we'll specify the Middle East, is a lack of deterrence. What I mean by deterrence, to have deterrence means the bad guys don't do things that you don't do things you don't want them to do. Two parts to that. One is capability. Do you have the ships, the airplanes, the people to do it, to make sure you've got deterrence? But most importantly, you've got the will to react. And they don't have the will. This administration doesn't have the will to react. Mm-hmm. And I would tell people the Israelis have proven with the will to react what they have done, and they're trying to reset deterrence. We did it with Iran when we killed Soleimani. That quieted everything down. Israel has done that by taking out Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. And I would say that Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, he's a risk as well, because the Israelis believe in deterrence, on setting deterrence. They've got the capacity or capability. And with Benjamin Netanyahu, they've got the will to do it. He's turned out to be, whether you like him or not, he's also become Churchillian in the Middle East.
We're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, a former national security advisor to the Trump administration. General, when I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm hearing and we're seeing with our own eyes the results of this abdication of responsibility from the Biden-Harris administration. We know what if Kamala Harris should become the commander-in-chief. We're going to get a lot more of the same because she has not done anything to articulate any difference from the past 4 years. I'm curious. We know we have had the Abraham Accords through the administration that you were a part of. We have a lot that has happened since those were in place. What can Donald Trump do? What is his plan to stabilize the region, to stabilize the world, and put America first should he win this presidency?
Yeah, Annie, and I don't speak for the president. I don't speak for the campaign either, because I'm not associated with both. But here's something that, because I've been asked that question before. They said, well, how long would it take and what would happen? What would he do? The whole idea of what is happening in the world can change dramatically on the 6th of November. President Trump gets elected, and you have enormous powers as a transitional character, in other words, president-elect, going forward. And he can start saying things and doing things that will affect other nations. And they'll listen to him because they said, okay, this isn't a new guy coming into the Oval Office. This is somebody we've dealt with in the last over 4 years of administration. We know what he does. We know that when he says things, I don't care if it's moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem or saying that he did in the State of the Union, that if you attack an American, your life is forfeit, they understand who he is. So he can start doing things the day after the election because on the 4th of November, you're campaigning. On the 5th of November this year, you're voting. And on the 6th of November, you win, you're governing. And he can start doing things and saying things and acting out on certain issues that'll start to change everybody's opinion on what's happening. And foreign leaders will do that. So you asked a great question. He can come out on the 6th of November and start saying, this is what we're going to do in Ukraine. This is what we're going to do in the Middle East. This is what we're going to do with China. And people are going to take notice because they say, okay, we know what his track record is. We know what he did as president. And we know that this is going to happen on the 20th of January. And if we don't agree to this or do it, then we're going to pay the price for it because they'll make them pay a price. So it can actually happen a lot faster than people really realize because it'll start during the transition period. And he's allowed to do that. I mean, he's got a lot of latitude in transition.
Do you believe, last question, because we really respect your time with us. We're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. The final question I have for you is, I hear this a lot from our leftist listeners who they love to listen to the show and they are very, very consumed with their thoughts on Donald Trump. But they say two things, that world leaders do not respect Donald Trump, and that the only way that Donald Trump relates to these world leaders, and they will often cite Putin and Kim Jong-un, is to flatter them. You have firsthand experience of working with President Trump in this capacity. Do they respect Donald Trump, and how will he handle them should he win this election?
Yeah, I had two comments, and both have movies. Out of Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does. That's one of their comments back to him. And there was a movie made called Dumb and Dumber, and that's what I also say to him. You don't look. What you say is your emotion, and the emotion doesn't count. You've got to sit back and with your hardcore advisors and say, "This is where we're going to go." You say, "Okay, tell me what happened in 4 years under President Trump that you disagreed with. Tell me how he handled foreign leaders. Tell me how he worked these leaders. And here's how he did it." And I think it's fascinating, Annie, Because what he did, he reached out to people on a very personal level. And I would always tell foreign leaders and ambassadors or diplomats, the most important thing you can do is pick up the phone and call Donald J. Trump. You know, when Zelensky of Ukraine, recently, President Zelensky, after the election, the nomination of President Trump to become the Republican nominee, he reached out to him, meaning Zelensky did. He reached out to him on a Friday. He was nominated and was selected on a Thursday. Zelensky reaches out on Friday. Trump gave him his personal phone number. And I said, now use it. Now that you've got it, that's the most important thing you can do. So when I was with Trump, he talked to Putin probably 17 or 18 times. The last time Biden talked to when he talked to Putin was 2 years ago. So I would tell the people who listen to you, is that good statesmanship? If that's a yes or no. Trump never called Saudi Arabia a pariah state. They're going to be key to the Middle East. Was that good or that bad? You know, and you look at it on the personal levels and what he did. Now, you may not like him on a personal level, but on a professional level and on a diplomatic level, he was absolutely superb. You know, when you look at, I'll use one example because it was a really disaster of Afghanistan of this administration, the Biden-Harris administration. You know, when we got Omar Baradar out of a Pakistani jail because he was the second member leader of the Taliban, because we knew we had to negotiate with the Taliban to try to end the war in Afghanistan, he called Imran Khan, who was the prime minister of Pakistan. Baradar was in a Pakistani jail, picks up the phone, calls Khan, says, get him out of jail, I need him. He said, you know, he's in for life. And he said, yeah, I know, but, you and I go back a lot of years. So Imran Khan, prime minister of Pakistan, releases Mullah Baradar. He goes to Doha. President Trump, and I'm in the Oval Office when this happens, President Trump picks up the phone, and he talks to Baradar as the new negotiator for the Taliban. Translated. It's all translated. He doesn't speak English. All I remember thinking, dear God, how's this being translated?
Yeah.
Because he was telling him what he's going to do and what's not going to do. Okay. Continue. Fast forward. For the year after that happened, that discussion, there was two of them, not a single American was killed in Afghanistan. Okay, I think it got through.
Yeah.
That's how President Trump operates. He operates on a very personal level. So when people say, well, it was a disaster, no, it wasn't. And I've talked to a lot of leaders. They were here from the NATO summit. I've talked to ambassadors. I've had over 160 meetings in the last year between foreign dignitaries, be they ambassadors or diplomats, prime ministers, presidents of countries, former presidents, and they all want to know about President Trump, and none of them are making disparaging comments. None of them to me. They all know what kind of a historical figure he is. They know how he's going to be important for world peace, and they know that the United States of America must lead, and we're not leading right now. Trump will lead the world, and whether they like it or not, and they don't like him personally, I know from his policies that he'll do that and he'll do it effectively.
Man. Well, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, that's why we have you here. Facts, not feelings. And we need Donald Trump back in a big way. Thank you for that anecdote today and for your insight on this issue, because it's going to be a very key issue in the next 33 days. So your wisdom is very valuable here. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration, co-chair of the Center for American Security at American First Policy Institute. So the question is, what do you say to those people that are like, world leaders don't respect Trump and he just flatters them? And his response is, stupid is stupid. General, let's take a quick break. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Weakens America, maybe, when we come back. Unless I'm distracted by that shirt again. I've never seen anything like it. If you want to see it, you can tune into the Annie Fry YouTube channel. He'll be back in here in a second. Or just go to my X profile. I need comments. I'm going to read them a few when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan is the smartest financial move that you can make right now to make the phone call to talk to the guy who can potentially save you boatloads of money on lowering your rate. Interest rates have come down on mortgages. If you've gotten a mortgage in maybe since 2022, if those mortgage rates are in the sevens, sometimes the eights, even if it's in the high sixes, you might be able to get something significantly lower right now. And when you use the Bagel Loan, the only place you can get a Bagel Loan is at Stewart's American Mortgage. You can refinance it for no cost to you. And I have done this twice. It's real. There's no cost. There's no reason not to make this phone call. If you're looking to make a purchase of a home in the near future, Stewie is there to make sure that you get the best rate locked in, that you don't pay closing costs with that new purchase either. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Call Stewie, text Stewie, tell him Annie sent you. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9-million.
Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P. Diddy's alleged crimes? Yes or no? That is today's YouTube live chat poll.
Should we talk about your crimes?
No. Especially not the real ones. Fashion crimes, fine. 146. If you want to vote in this poll, if you want to see all this stuff we're talking about, go to the YouTube page and just type in Annie Fry. Today's date will come up. You click there. 146. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Together, we can help those who've been affected by Hurricane Helene. Your financial donation to the Red Cross is the focus of this month's Conservatives Care. Visit redcross.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or text the word Helene to 90999. Message and data rates apply. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The comments that I'm getting on Twitter right now from the picture that I tweeted out, the only thing that Tyrus said that hurt me is that he didn't want me to buy him a hat because of my fashion choices, which he indicated that you questioned.
I know. I really don't remember saying anything. I really don't. And now I want to know, too. We must have talked about you being unfashionable.
Rude!
I don't know. It seems like a weird topic to come up.
I have a conservative kind of clothing style, but I wouldn't call myself unfashionable.
Yeah, I know, which is why I can't figure out, like, did we come at it from some sort of angle that I don't remember?
John Lamping says on Twitter, clearly he's a Tron fan.
All right, John.
And Ball says it looks like your shirt is on acid.
Yeah, that's fair, too. Yeah, these are all fair comments. I think that you guys are a little bit challenged in the area of fashion since you don't like this shirt, because clearly the shirt is very complicated.
J.R. Rollins says, I've seen that design at bowling alleys.
You know, the one that hurt is the one that said that this reminds me of all arcade carpet.
Yes, yeah, that's good. I mean, when you walked into a room and they had that on the carpet, you're like, this is gonna be a fun time.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
that's why you see this and you go, this is a party guy.
A lot of glow sticks.
Yeah, yeah, and so this is kind of the feeling that I'm trying to bring, and people are all dogging on it, and I just don't get it. I'm ready for a party.
You want to do Wiggins America?
Yep.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
I have healthy advice for adult picky eaters.
Jackie says, future gamers without game anonymous.
Future gamers without game anonymous. Okay. So people who in the future will not have a game and don't want to be known.
You're past the point of needing to have game. You'll be fine.
I'm not worried about it at all. What I want to do here is help. I want to help you because you are a self-identified picky eater.
This feels really sincere.
It is directed at you very clearly. I told you this yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. He came out and he was like skipping in the hallways.
I got a great You know why? It was hard to find great advice for adult picky eaters. There's a lot of advice for kids.
Yeah, the advice is mind your own business.
Yeah. So let's talk about a lot of these. I think they can apply to you. You can tell me whether you're willing to try them to maybe expand your palate a bit.
Okay. I also have no interest in expanding my palate, but go on.
Okay, number one, take baby steps. Being a picky eater is certainly not something you can snap yourself out of overnight. So don't overwhelm yourself with a plate loaded with unfamiliar foods or things you're not fond of.
Done.
Instead,
Good.
create one little attainable goal. So just grab one thing that you might try next time. You're okay with that?
It depends on what the thing is.
You don't really go to buffets, so I'm not sure what situation this would happen in.
Yeah, I don't know, like, the food that's in our house, we buy.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, ooh, I guess I'll try the gnocchi tonight instead of the penne.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Have you tried gnocchi?
Yeah, we make it in our house.
That's good.
It's so good.
That's different. It's a little different. Just potato, but...
It's not just potato, it's gnocchi. It's amazing.
Thank you. Send that to the Gnocchi Council of America. It's not just potato.
It's probably not of America.
It's gnocchi.
It's what's for dinner.
Number two, find a non-threatening setting.
This isn't an emotional problem.
Whether you are dining solo or with friends and family.
I am the threatening part of the setting.
You just have to ease into this. Don't do so in some sort of weird environment. Be comfortable. Again, like in your house.
I hate the internet. This type of crap doesn't exist without the internet. When we were growing up, nobody was like, we should really have more awareness about how to help picky eaters be less picky. Nobody's talking about this problem.
I don't understand why it's even an issue.
I know. I love it. Number three, pair the novel items, the new items, with the familiar. This sounds a lot like number one to me. Trying anything new. Food
Did you
included.
read this article or just see the headline?
Oh, no. I went through this with a fine-tooth comb.
Okay.
And I loved everything I was seeing. Requires you to step outside your comfort zone. But it's helpful not to venture too far away from the unfamiliar.
Okay. I won't.
Number four, don't give up.
Oh, man. This is where I draw the line. I have turned 40 and given up on needing to try new things in the food department for other people's satisfaction.
Oh, man. I really wish you would come over to our side, the people who just eat anything.
Yeah, you're a possum.
Because it is fun. It's fun. The problem is there are certain restaurants like Andrea's that I go to, and I want the same thing every time.
Because it's delicious.
Because it's great.
So why would you would you change it?
Because and I'm not talking about any particular restaurant, but say you go somewhere or you're in a grocery store or whatever. You see something that's very strange.
Dustin says, where does one get a MAGA AF shirt, which is what Brad is wearing? Asking for a friend. Ryan's shirt looks like the design on the urinal dividers at Denny's, which I don't know anything about that. Is that real? Do people have an honest, immediate visual of the urinal dividers at Denny's?
No, what? Look, I want to. Everybody's having fun. That's fine. They don't put like covers with designs over the urinal dividers anywhere.
I wouldn't know. I'm putting this out there for research purposes.
Brad,
I'm trying new things, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Back me up here. You've never seen a urinal divider that has complicated designs on it?
Oh, sure I have.
Where?
Denny's.
Denny's. Movie theaters, places like that. Arcades.
They're just They're just there. There's nothing to them. I've never seen anybody try to design those things. This is foreign concept to me.
Maybe
Somebody
your shirt
take a
was just
picture.
blending into it and you didn't realize it was a separate piece of furniture.
You know what? That's a great idea, except that I wear other shirts.
It's a good thing.
I don't just wear this one. Don't give up, Annie. That was number 4. Number 5, learn from the pros. This is how to get over your picky eating. If you fall back on the same foods day in and day out, consider signing up for a cooking class.
Oh, hell.
You can see why I love this article.
Yeah, I see. I get it. The best part of this segment is I just now realized it was 1:54 and not 12:54.
Yeah, we're 2 hours in. Number 6, change how you prepare your food. Sometimes something as simple as new cooking methods is all you need to turn a yuck into a yum. So have you considered that, Annie?
I wasn't listening. I was talking to Brad.
I know. That's why I put you on the spot.
Okay, well, I'm going to just tell you. I was asking him for another minute for this wonderful segment.
Wait a minute. Russell says, I'm a urinal divider installer. That can't be true.
No, read the rest.
That's so specific.
That shirt makes me want to work harder, not smarter.
Come on. Kate says arcade carpeting. That's where I've seen Ryan's shirt pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I understand, you take a dig, but the urinal divider, Russell, you're not really a urinal divider installer. That's not a real job.
What do you mean? Don't insult those people. They're hardworking.
How do you think they get there?
There are people who probably do multiple things in the bathroom.
And it
I
might
don't think there's
involve-
just a guy that just does the urinal dividers.
That he didn't say that's all he does. He said that is something he does, and you just insulted his hardworking effort and attitude.
Russell, chime in and let us know if you are intending to say that you only do urinal.
You're arguing like a liberal right now. You're trying to get this off of the topic of your horrible urinal divider shirt.
Oh, no. I've been in many bathrooms, and I've done a lot of pee. And I have never seen that before. Never.
Are you 3? I just did a pee.
Now,
your command of the English language and Denny's bathrooms concerns me.
I'm still one of those guys who pulls his pants all the way down at public urinals. Yes, I'm that guy. It's weird for everybody else, not weird for me.
Just make sure you get a long enough shirt, bud.
I do. This one. Last one. Try different dishware.
You don't even take yourself seriously. You're not even for real. You're ridiculous.
Not only is she not going to take any of this advice, nobody would take any of this advice.
I cannot sum up my feelings about this segment any better than you just did.
There's a picky eater out there searching and going, oh, this is all for kids.
I'm so glad I found this show.
Everyday health. The Annie Fry Show is talking about it. I'm so much better now. Thank you so much for listening to the Annie Fry Show today.
Yeah, we appreciate having you as a listener. We're sorry to see you go. 2 o'clock hour next. Let me know on @AnnieFryShow on X what you think about the shirt. I'll read more of your comments and come leave us your thoughts on the YouTube poll. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P Diddy? Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. We are thrilled to announce that the Mid-America Carpenters Union is offering up to $10,000 cash to close to all McKelvey home buyers. Use these dollars for closing costs, upgrades, or buy down your interest rate. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to own a beautifully crafted home with McKelvey legendary quality. Act fast. This offer is first come, first serve. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
This summer, children throughout our region will hear the devastating news that they have been diagnosed with a critical illness. But there is hope, there is you. You can transform lives this summer by supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping to deliver hope, strength, and joy in a time when it is needed most. Your donations will truly change lives and restore childhood back to those who have lost it due to a medical diagnosis. Visit wish.org/MoCan to give the gift of a wish today.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Strike solidarity. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Some West Coast port workers say they won't unload containers from diverted ships as a strike continues at 36 East Coast and Gulf Coast ports.
These guys on the picket line say they're not going anywhere until they get a promise there's going to be no automation in this industry. These longshoremen say it's not just about the money, it's about their families and job security.
Fox's Alexis McAdams at the Red Hook Terminal in New York City. The Longshoremen's Union represents about 45,000 dock workers, pushing for a nearly 80% pay raise over 6 years.
They say they've been very upset since the pandemic because they worked around the clock and they don't feel like they got their fair share. They also want a ban on the automation of gates, cranes, and container moving trucks in its ports.
President Biden urging both sides to return to the bargaining table. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary expecting only minimal supply chain impacts for now. The president's visiting Florida and Georgia today for more briefings on the response to Hurricane Helene. In western North Carolina, newly reopened roads revealing the scope of devastation in some areas.
Everything's pretty much covered with mud, and these people here have been through so much as well. A lot of these people have gone through life or death decisions in the past 48 hours or so, and many of them are expressing frustration with the lack of help that they're getting, many being told to go on a website or to text a number.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Swannanoa, east of Asheville. The storm's now blamed for at least 200 deaths in 6 states. The U.S. organizing more flights to get American citizens out of Lebanon after a second flight left Beirut early today,
bringing the total number of American citizens and their immediate family members who have departed on these flights to 250.
The State Department spokesman Matthew Miller says thousands of Americans live in Lebanon and not everyone wants to leave. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
No question it's warmer than it should be this afternoon. It's 82 for the high with lots of sunshine. This is a trend that will continue right through the weekend. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, dropping through the 70s, 58 for the low. Friday, sunny, 82 degrees. Again, Saturday, it's almost hot, 87 and sunshine. Sunday, sunny and 81. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, Charles Pan here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors, and I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
Would you like to know how to save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash on qualifying HVAC equipment? You need to reach out to Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service is there to help you in the need of a new furnace, boiler, heat pump, or an entire HVAC system. You reach out to Corey and the wonderful team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation through November 23rd and enjoy those Carrier Cool Cash rebates. They are wonderful people, and they do a wonderful job of making sure that your comfort zone is always within reach. And yes, you might need to replace that furnace this winter. You might need to have it tuned up or maintained. But if you find out that everything is working just fine there and maybe the house isn't warming the way it's supposed to, they can help you check your insulation as well as the ductwork in your home to make sure that the heat is being dispersed the way it's supposed to. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I am surveying the news on a Thursday afternoon at the beginning of October, and there is a disaster area everywhere right now in October. If you're the incumbent, you know, it's kind of like in 2020 when we were in the midst of the summer of love and riots everywhere and George Floyd and everything that developed out of the Black Lives Matter movement that really took hold that summer. And then you added in the fact that we were in the middle of a pandemic and people were locked in our houses. It's a reality that every time I think back to what we really did to alter our lives, it's hard to believe that we did as much as we did. But it's very difficult when you're the incumbent and everywhere you look is a disaster area to think people are going to go, yeah, let's keep going with this. And right now, there are literal disaster areas. The world is on the cusp of World War III, exactly how they told us that it would be should Donald Trump have been the president. We're here. This is 3.5 years of what we get with the Biden-Harris administration, and we're supposed to say, give us 4 more, and put Kamala Harris at the top. I just have a very, very difficult time finding people or knowing people who are excited to cast a vote for that.
Yeah, it's like living in the Hunger Games because you have the elite class that are still having parties, that are still controlling the media and the message, saying, you know what, though? Everything would be so much worse if the other party were in power. This is actually pretty good. And like you're saying, we're surveying actual disaster zones and watching this, and it's not just one thing. It's so many different issues that have caused all these problems, and they've all been caused really in the last 4 years. Yet, we're told from very pretty people who are still making a lot of money that this is all fine. You should not pay attention to this stuff. It's all good. You're good.
Where does Kamala, I mean, has she even said, like, look how great we're doing? She isn't really. She says she was raised in the middle class. She says she wants an opportunity economy, and she wants to give people money for housing.
Yeah, that's her economic plan.
What else is, there's got to be, when you take Trump out of it, there's got to be something else.
There's not. There's not anything else. There is no plan. That is the plan, is we're going to give people more government money.
Well, I mean, they're actually out there admitting that things aren't going well. They're like, I mean, Walz said it at the debate. People can't afford their groceries, and that's not okay. And this cost is too high, and that's not fair. They know things aren't going well, but the problem is they aren't admitting that they are the ones that are at fault for it. So they can't admit that.
That's not going to happen.
They have to try to separate themselves from the current administration, of which Kamala Harris is the VP of. But they go out there and they're like, things aren't going well. Let's throw more money at it. And all the solutions that they're providing are what they've been doing for the past 3.5 years that got us into this problem to begin with.
What's your conspiracy? What's your guilty pleasure conspiracy theory to follow up on, to keep up with?
It's weird because it's like borderline conspiracy because it's so hard to find information on it. But at the same time, you're looking at this as being like a dramatic thing for the future of the country. But elections, election integrity, election cheating, printing ballots, that kind of stuff, I like to look into that.
What about you, Brad?
Man. Guilty pleasure?
I mean, like, what is it that, because there are certainly a lot of conspiracies that exist in the world that we're all aware of. We're very aware of them, just like you're aware of them. I just don't really think that they are at the place where they should rise to the level of respectable conversation on this show.
Oh, yeah. I would say I like to look at what the flat earthers are saying.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fun for me. Because a lot of the stuff...
I know nothing about them. They're serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's. I saw one the other day. It was a video. This guy's like, tell me why this helicopter's flying along, and on the left-hand side, all you see is a wall of ice. Tell me again how this isn't an ice wall around.
Is there an ice wall?
That's the claim. So they think that the Earth is a disk and that there's a wall of ice around the outside edge, and that's what Antarctica actually is. And like these claims are so fun to easily debunk because you look at this and you say, well, yeah, that's the exact same thing you would see if you flew along the coast of, say, the United States.
Can't you fly around the world? How do you...
No, not in flat Earth. All the pilots are lying.
All of them?
All of them.
Mm-hmm. All of them are lying. I don't really do that one, but it is kind of fun.
It is really fun to see it.
Speaking of lies, RSG says, give a man a shirt and he'll wear it once. Tell a man he looks good in it and he'll wear it for a lifetime. Yikes.
It's all jokes until I wear it tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday.
The conspiracy theory that I'm currently, like when I lay in bed at night and I have checked in on all of the news of the day that I might have missed, I'm looking to see what's going on in the Diddy world.
Yeah.
I feel like Hollywood is so incredibly corrupt. The question is just how corrupt. And some of the theories that are out there are absolutely outrageous. And so I'm sitting here going, I don't think that this is, I don't know that we're going to, he's arrested, he's been charged, he's been denied bail, he was on suicide watch for a minute. there are tapes. We know that he beat that woman on video in that hallway. And so we know that there are facets of this that are absolutely true. This is just like what we said that one time when the poll question was, which conspiracy theory do you want to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth? The election was one of them. COVID, Epstein, and what?
Trump assassination.
Trump assassination, because it was the week after the Trump assassination.
Mm-hmm.
We've had another assassination
was
attempt
before
since
the second
then.
one.
That was the first one. And, when we talked about that, we were discussing, like, there is so much that we know about what happened with Epstein Island, with Jeffrey Epstein, with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, there are things that we know that are vomit-inducing reprehensible. And we just kind of casually don't talk about it. That's like, and if you do talk about it, there's so many conspiracies that exist about it because they don't answer any questions about it that everybody starts to fill in the blanks, and that becomes, it becomes sensationalized in a way that if we got the whole truth, it would be absolutely shocking. But if it's not as shocking as what the rumor said they would be, then somehow or another it softens something that we already know to be absolutely abominable. The Diddy stuff they're saying could be similar, could be worse. I don't know what it is. But last night, Jesse Waters reported on it and had this to say.
Since the day Diddy was indicted for sex trafficking and racketeering, we've been warning you he's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're being told a list of Diddy's accomplices will drop very soon. Powerhouse attorney Tony Busby just announced that more than 100 people are filing lawsuits against Diddy and others for sexual abuse. 24 of the victims are minors.
Those are facts.
Yeah. Well, that's the trouble, is that you hear facts like this, and unless they break through, unless there's an actual court case, you remember it for about a day or two, and then it just kind of goes away because nobody pursues it. The people in power have to pursue these things for something to happen.
I want to live in a time of complete and total accountability where we recalibrate the entire system to actually be where no one is above the law. And you don't get to live in these lavish lifestyles where you have the connections in Washington, D.C. on the East Coast or in Hollywood on the left coast. You don't get to sidestep the justice system because you are connected to the right people. And when we're talking about specifically with the Diddy trial and also with the Epstein situation, when we're talking about children being involved, I don't understand why we're not. I mean, think about the things that in our recent lifetime we've rioted over in this country and burned buildings down. Obviously, we don't want to do that. Obviously, we don't want to cause mass destruction. But clearly, there's an appetite in some areas in our country to behave in that way. And we don't even talk about these things. Like, it shouldn't be just one or the other. Either we just kind of are like, yeah, that happened. Seems like it's really bad. I don't really know what happened there. Or chaos in the streets. Isn't there somewhere in the middle where we can rationally, common sense live our lives where we demand truth, we demand transparency, and we demand accountability for the people who are involved? Why is that hard? Politics, I guess.
It is politics. The trouble is, if you mention an issue that's, let's say it's, and I'm not trying to change it, but let's say it's associated with the border. Everybody just goes to their corners. So if you have stats on how many kids have been trafficked in any number of years, not just like, oh, during the Trump years or during the Biden years. Yes, it's gotten worse, but the point isn't just to make political points. You start from, this is affecting people. How do we fix it? And nobody wants to address the problems because you just run to, well, this is my political stance on these things. So I'm going to either make excuses for why this has been happening more in the last 4 years, or I'm going to dunk on why it's happened and we could have stopped it. But there are actual people whose lives are being affected by this, many of them not American citizens. So if you care about immigrants, this is a great place to start.
What if it's bigger than that, though? What if the politics are just the tool that the people are using, the people that have something a lot to lose and like a lot to gain from keeping something like this under wraps? What if the politics are just a tool because they're in a position where they can shape narratives? It's a tool that they use to keep the average person divided against themselves so that they can say and get away with whatever it is because we're too busy fighting one another.
And those people that could be doing that it's not a political party.
Mm-mm.
It's a political elite.
Mm-hmm.
It's the power structure against the people where they separate themselves from us and then they playfully divide us in elections. But if the powerful stay powerful, then it really doesn't matter. It sounds like a swamp.
I mean, what you're describing with the stats that were shared by Jesse Waters is that these are real crimes that have happened.
Yes, this is not just conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's real.
And who cares what party P Diddy belongs to or what any of these Hollywood people, whether they're Hollywood people that you know or you don't. If these are crimes that are being committed, they need to be prosecuted. Then you add the layer that these people have probably been protected from prosecution by their power, and it becomes even grosser. And so there needs to be like reform to the system that goes after these crimes because of that being in play.
Well, that's why we're asking the question today of you. As a listener to this show, we want to know, do you want to know the names of the people connected to P. Diddy's alleged crimes, yes or no? Because when these stories are happening, I think that this is an easy one, like, oh, let's just talk Trump and Kamala. There's a lot more going on right now in the world than Trump and Kamala, and I get exhausted from it. And I feel like this is a story that absolutely deserves oxygen so that people are aware of what's going on and aware of the truths. The hard part is making sure that what we're discussing here is what we know to be real and that we don't report in a speculative way about things that we're interpreting to you to be true. Like it's a tough line to walk, but it's a very important, responsible one that we have here. And we want to know how you feel about it. Are you wanting to know these things? Certainly like I am. I think, Brad and Ryan, your answers to this question, do you want to know the names?
I'm a yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're 3 for 3 in here. We've got votes coming in on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, but we encourage you to come join us there and leave your vote, your comment as to why you feel yes or no. Andy said yes, but don't really care. Jackie said, I want to know the names. We should know who the criminals are, who not to support. I agree with that. Katie said, no, I really don't care who committed the crimes. I just hope the victims get the help they need and the justice system will punish the guilty. And Russell said, yes, I want to know who is involved in Diddy's crimes, but I also want to see justification for those involved. Don't need to know every detail, but justice for, I think that meant to say it, but I want to see justice for those involved. Don't need to know every detail, but justice for the victims. And that is definitely, that it has to be a huge part of it. Sean says, expose them all. I'm going to say walk and chew gum at the same time. Expose them all and shower those victims with justice. Let us know what you think. Annie Fry YouTube channel. And also, in our pursuit of 10,000 subscribers, we are at 9,224. So we need 700, quick math, and 776. This is kind of almost a really fun number. Subscribers to get us to 10,000. We would love to have you come join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We hear rumors that like once you hit 10,000 subscribers, YouTube's like, oh, hey guys, we see you. So we're trying to get to that and to get us more exposure to grow this show. And you are a huge part of that. And we always love to connect with you there. Plus, you get the opportunity to see a lot of the YouTube shorts and stuff that we put in after the show is over. A lot of great content gets created and shared there as well. Let's take a quick break. Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll be right back.
I only knew that one day I would find someone like you. I take back
This
all those
is the
nights
Annie Fry
I
Show.
wasted looking for.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Together, you make me better. Whatever it takes, I'm here forever. Bad things will happen, but none of that matters. We'll find a way. As long as I'm with you, I'm okay.
Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. Your shopping for a vehicle is made smooth by Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. I have purchased our last 2 vehicles from Cassens. You might have remembered if you listened to the show, my husband hit a deer last November, maybe October, and totaled the car, hit the radiator, and we were thrust into needing to buy a new vehicle. I was not advertising for Cassens at that time, but I told my husband, we have to buy this at Cassens because we can trust that they are going to treat us right, and they will treat you right. Shopping at Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer in Glen Carbon is a smart move. Make sure that you give them the opportunity to show you why. People come back again and again, recommend generationally over the course of their family. Buy your car at Cassens. You can trust the people at Cassens, that we trust the service department at Cassens to always give us the information we need to maintain our vehicles and to keep our family safe in wonderful cars. I have a Chrysler Pacifica and a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I encourage you to check them out as well. You can call them directly if you have a question. They're located in Glen Carbon, just a mile north off of 270 in Glen Carbon. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712, online right now at cassenscan.com.
If you're considering new windows, there's nowhere else to go but Window World. Mark Cox here. My friends at Window World are doing something now they've never done before. That is offering up to 36 months interest-free financing for your purchase. So you get the great windows put in now, you get the energy efficiency, the great look, and then you have 36 months to pay for it. How about that? Window World has been around for a long time, and their reputation speaks for itself. They are highly rated in the Better Business Bureau and all of the rating agencies. They're big supporters of our St. Louis Blues. And here's the thing. If you mention you heard this on the Mark Cox Morning Show in 97.1, you're going to be entered in a drawing for 4 Blues tickets during the upcoming season. And that's great. They're going to pick a winner every month, and good luck to you. If you need new windows, I'm telling you, Window World is the way to go. 314-993-1800. That's 993-1800 or windowworldstlouis.com.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Fall is a great time to upgrade your backyard, your patio, or your deck with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mark Cox here for my friends at Chesterfield Fence. Right now, you can get 20% off your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck by just mentioning my name. They would love to come out and talk to you about upgrading that patio, maybe getting a nice chimney built back there to sit outside this fall and enjoy it. Maybe you need a new deck or a sunroom or an all-season room. These are all things that Chesterfield Fence and Deck can do, and they've been doing it since 1968. Locally owned and operated for all those years. If you've got their sign in your yard, it is the sign you have the very best, and it's a great time to take advantage of that. They'll come out, they'll talk to you about the financing, they'll talk to you about the free project design they can do for you, and show you an extensive digital photo gallery of completed projects. Call them at 636-532-4054 or go online to chesterfieldfence.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk is online, and you can stream it on your phone anytime. Just download the Odyssey app, and 97.1 is one button away. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Now, Ryan, is this song for you?
I don't know. I like it.
If your shirt was the song, is this Shining Star?
Yes, Shining Star.
This is a song I never know until it hits the chorus, and I'm like, oh. Dance. Yeah. I said dance. What are you doing? Looks like a chicken. This person says on Twitter, been listening at work and just now got a minute. Yes, the shirt was something else. But my wife has been watching Gilmore Girls again. And in a good way, the energy from Annie is like if Rory went into radio. Love all of you. Ryan, you're big into Gilmore Girls. What does that mean?
Wait a minute. Can you pull that up? And can I read this on the screen? I need to read. Because this is like a road. There's a journey that they went on here.
Well, I know, but yes, I can.
Okay. So that... Where is it?
Well, give me a minute. It doesn't just happen like that.
I do have thoughts on Gilmore Girls. That's why I want to make sure that I get this right. Okay. Been listening at work and just now got a minute. Yes, the shirt, my shirt, was something else, but my wife has been watching Gilmore Girls again. So this seems like a real change there. Like it has nothing to do with the shirt.
And in a good way.
And in a good way, the energy from Annie is like if Rory went into radio. Love all of you. Okay. Now, I don't know how this person is connecting the shirt to Gilmore Girls. And
I think they came to Twitter to see your shirt.
Okay. But I will say that if they're saying the energy from Annie is like if Rory went into radio.
What? Rory went into radio. That's like something you'd say in radio school, which I don't know if that even exists
She
anymore.
sells seashells by the radio. If my assumption is now Gilmore Girls, they talk really fast. They talk so fast.
It's like a thing. That show specifically.
Yes, it's a style. They went for it. Some other shows that have done it, but that one's one of the most famous. Where the dialogue is so quick that there's no way in real life you could have a conversation that quick. So my assumption is that they're saying that you're quick. I'm just making a jump here because I don't really follow the whole logic of the tweet.
How much Gilmore Girls have you watched?
As little as I possibly can.
But some.
But my wife did like the show for a long time, so I have seen it.
Brad?
Which one's Rory?
The younger one.
The daughter. Okay.
What's the older one's name? Sarah? No, that's from Parenthood.
If you said it, I'd know it. I don't know it.
I think...
Gilmore?
Oh, I wonder if they're referencing... Now, I'm wearing the backwards hat like the dude in the show because he wears a hat just like this. So I wonder if they're connecting Gilmore Girls to the way I look. The shirt doesn't really make it to Gilmore Girls, but the hat does.
Dinner Night on Twitter says that your shirt looks like the seat covers on like a charter bus. The one that you get on, you're like, we're going somewhere fun.
That's not incorrect. Yes, it does. But look, if you were talking about does this song fit with my shirt? If the shirt were like the bus seats where they were felt, then yes. This shirt is not felt. This shirt is German techno.
German techno? Okay.
Sprockets. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
What do you guys feel like? Okay, we have the Jack Smith indictment. We talked to Cully Stimson at 12:25. Great to get his breakdown of what a non-story to him that this is. Certainly trying to affect the outcome of the election. It's not. This story is only going to make people feel more what they felt about the lawfare before the story. Am I wrong?
No, you are exactly right. This is the kind of thing that if you're on the left, you're not going to go vote harder because this has happened.
You might vote twice.
You can vote a couple times, maybe.
What?
But if you are a low propensity voter on the right, this might motivate you to vote.
Might make you really remember that Trump is getting screwed again.
Yes.
Or being held to a standard that other people are not being held to.
Yes.
Where is Joe Biden? What is this man doing?
Joe Biden is the president of the United States.
Is he?
He is firmly in control of all the decisions that are being made in the country.
This follows with your shirt decision for the day. Go on.
And I believe that he's sharp as a tack. The media told me that he's sharp as a tack, and I believe it. Look, his best days are ahead of him. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala loses this if he runs in 2028.
I bet he doesn't physically run in 2028. Lorelai.
Yeah, a couple people said that.
Yeah, that's her name.
That's her name.
I remember that name. What do you expect for the rest of October? We're in October. October surprises. Another new indictment against Donald Trump for the same thing they indicted him before, and the Supreme Court said no. But they're back with another one. Is there another one? Is there going to be something else?
They'll throw anything they can into this. I'm surprised that they're still doing this. It feels like Jack Smith at this point has made it personal.
I don't even think he's a real person. Jack Smith.
Yeah.
Come on, try harder.
Yeah. Special counsel Joe Schmo.
I mean, why the heck not at this point?
Wait a minute. Now, I don't think this is the last thing we're going to see. There's going to be anything possible thrown out that's going to try to stop this guy. Here's what makes me afraid, honestly, is that the trend, the polling trend is that it seems to be ever so slowly drifting in the favor of Trump. The more people panic that he is about to maybe win the election, what worries me is that you get more crazies trying to take shots at him.
What won't they do?
Anything is on the table. And I'm not saying that the political class is doing that.
Just the people who are
But the
radicalized.
fringe people who are believing the stuff about the end of the country, if he wins, they'll do anything it takes to stop him.
Well, if you believe that what Donald Trump said on January 6th was enough to incite a riot, incite an insurrection, then you have to equally believe that what is being said about Donald Trump as being Hitler or a threat to democracy, right, that there are people on the left who will listen to that and try to kill the man. I mean, honestly, if you actually believe Donald Trump is Hitler, you have to be morally consistent, believe that you have to go after the man.
I've seen people make that argument that after an assassination attempt, if you are out there saying this man is the worst thing possible that could happen to the country, he's a threat. He will be the end of the country as we know it, that it is actually logically wrong to then be like, oh, we don't want him to die. Yes, you do. In fact, logically, that's where you go when you say that kind of thing. If it actually is the end of everything good, then yes, you actually do want him to get to die.
If you sincerely mean what you said about him being a threat, about him being the end of democracy, about him being all of those things. So what it does is it reveals that either A, you weren't serious about it, or B, you're crazy.
It's just everything is it's turned up to 11. We're trying to figure out how to get to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyrus was on with us at 110, and he wasn't really thrilled with J.D. Vance's performance in its entirety. He said the first 40 minutes were good because he wanted to see more fight from J.D. Vance. My counter to him is I think they're trying to tell people who are like me but not politically engaged as much as I am, suburban women, moms, they're trying to get people that are like that. Maybe they're not moms, but maybe, it's college-aged or college-educated suburban women to consider that what they've been told is not accurate. And I think that J.D. Vance went into that debate to try to kind of put the paddles on what everybody thinks they know and understand about Republicans, about Trump Vance, about Vance. I think that they wanted to jar a new life into what people understand about them, because when you're driving down this path, and I disagreed with Tyrus that JD should have been more aggressive and fight, because there were blows that JD Vance could have landed that he didn't. He chose not to do. He chose a path of emotional connection to the audience that was soft in delivery, but deliberate in policy and substance. And I think that that is specifically to make all of those people who are saying, I cannot afford more of this. I'm a little worried about my children in 4 years being of age to have to fight in a world war. I'm a little concerned about the safety and security of the streets of our own country because we don't know who's here. Like, I'm really worried about that. I really want to vote for the first female president. But I'm also really worried about my own personal circumstances as an American citizen. And I just am not getting it from Kamala Harris. If you can jolt people into a new consideration of who these people are on the right, you may shake a few of them loose from the hive to consider the alternative, or maybe simply not voting for Kamala. Just because you don't vote for Trump doesn't mean you are voting for Kamala. I think there are a lot of people who might do down ballot. And I think that that's what they were trying to do. And I actually really appreciate that because instead of going and trying to find 12 from 11, I'd like to dial it down a little bit as a whole, as a country, so we can get back to we disagree on policy.
Yeah, Tim Walz went into that debate just trying to not fall. J.D. Vance went into that debate trying to, what it looks like and what you're saying is, turn the temperature down a little bit. I think he succeeded at that.
Yeah.
In a way. And here's what's nice about that. He didn't do it by backing off of any of his positions. So he showed that there is and here's the thing. Tim Walz came off as kind of, they were amicable toward each other, but I don't think Tim Walz went into that debate saying he was going to do that. I think J.D. Vance did go into that debate saying he was going to do that, and Tim Walz just responded that way. There is a way to do this where you do not back off of your principles, and you can say, we don't have to hate each other. And I think J.D. Vance actually went in and said, I'm going to try to be that example. Is that a winning strategy? I think it is. I think that there are a lot of people right now just craving that. And whether or not they found it in him or Tim Walz or whoever, I don't know, because this is still the VP debate. It's not the main debate. So whether or not he actually changed any minds, I don't know. But I do think that was his strategy, and he succeeded at it.
It's just what you said and been saying all along, Annie, that the biggest enemy against Donald Trump, who Trump is running against, is the caricature that they're painting of him. And J.D. Vance is, to a little bit lesser degree, running against the same thing, but he represents the ticket. So he went into that debate to fight the true enemy of his campaign, which is the caricature that has been painted of it. And he came out of it. If that's what he went in there to do, that was a 100% successful mission. Because even at the end of the debate, he had the other guy saying, yeah, I agree with you on that.
And flash those baby blues.
And those baby blues.
Mm-hmm. Very handsome baby blues. It's weird that he's younger than all of us.
Is he? How old is he?
He's like 2 months younger than me.
Yeah, he's 40.
Really? Man, what a young guy.
Yeah. Yep. Think you get J.D. Vance to wear that shirt?
I'll see. I'll send it to him.
Good political decision? Bad political decision?
Great political decision. Anybody who wears this shirt is making a good decision, period.
Are you going to go to this dinner tonight that you, air quotes, dressed up for because you won an award? Are you going to go to this dinner tonight and totally commit to the bit?
I'm on the fence. I'll tell you.
Man, you're in deep now. I don't know that you can make it back to the same side you left from.
I brought another shirt just in case.
You did? Oh, you so weak.
Oh, man.
Big bad Ryan
We'll see.
has a backup shirt. Break glass in case of emergency. We have 398 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P Diddy's alleged crimes? Yes or no? Let us know.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
If you are in Deerbergs or Schnucks, do yourself a favor when you walk past that Andrea sauce and grab a bottle, not only of their steak sauce. Look, that's mandatory. You got to grab a bottle of Andrea's steak sauce, especially if you've never had one, and try it on whatever protein you're going to cook next. You will thank me, and you will thank Andrea's. But then you got to try their other sauces, too, which I don't mention often enough. They have a salad dressing that is extremely unique. It is a type of vinaigrette that I'm not sure I've ever tasted elsewhere, that you got to try that, too. They're very famous for that in the restaurant, but I got to mention that you can pick it up in the bottle, too. They also just released, within the last year and a half, a barbecue sauce that I was a little bit nervous about because I am a barbecue sauce nut, and I eat so much barbecue sauce on food that it's a little bit embarrassing. And I was really, really nervous that it wasn't going to be like as good as the salad dressing or the steak sauce, but it's awesome. And I know that, like, hey, I'm doing an endorsement. I say that, but their barbecue sauce really is top notch. So if you're a sauce connoisseur, highly recommend you get any of the 3 Andrea sauces, their steak sauce, their barbecue sauce, or their salad dressing. Deerbergs, Schnucks, or Andreas.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, and when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin, and bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
The YouTube live chat stream, I shouldn't say chat stream, the YouTube live stream is always available for you to come and see the shirt. YouTube live chat poll.
Are you okay? Shirt's starting to go to your head. You can tell the path it's taking, too, if you really look at the shirt closely.
It's a complicated pattern that it's taking.
What a pipe dream.
This shirt's starting to go to your head. Like I've just got pompous about it. Like I was like, we'll try this out.
Well, there's only one way to be about that shirt.
Everybody loves the shirt. Everybody look at me.
Treating it like your personality here.
Rick says the shirt's wearing him. Oh, wearing on him. Never mind.
Really, who's wearing who, though? That's a good point. The YouTube live chat poll of the day. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to the P Diddy's alleged crimes? The P Diddy's alleged crimes. Yes or no? 246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon on a Thursday afternoon. I have some heartbreaking audio. It's actually video. We're going to pull the audio here of a guy in North Carolina just basically begging for assistance, saying that the federal government is not doing nearly enough. Just the basics, water, etc. Where are the helicopters? We're going to talk about it. It all starts after Fox News at 3.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, that YouTube live chat poll. Over 400 votes today, which is fantastic. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P. Diddy's alleged crimes, yes or no? Ethan in studio with us, and he's watching the results, and will give them to us here at the end of the segment. Ethan, you can join in on this chat as well. I'm going to list 8 behaviors that people display as adults that indicate a specific thing about something they experienced as a child. Okay? So
Okay.
I've got 8 behaviors that you may display as an adult, and if you display a majority of these, then you probably experienced this certain thing, but I'm not going to tell you what that certain thing is until the end. Are
okay.
you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to tell you the behavior, and I'll go first and tell you if I feel like I do this or if this affects me, and then you guys can tell me your thoughts. The number 1 is constant need for validation. I would say that yes, I do, but my validation doesn't necessarily come from other people. But like, I like numbers, I like metrics, I like the scoreboard, and I'm always got an eye on the scoreboard. I don't need people telling me, but I do need to validate that I'm headed in the right direction. I do need to measure it.
I would say yes, but I got lots of validation as a kid, so I'm not sure I was craving it. Like, my parents were really good about that.
Yeah.
So I
Do you
guess it's a yes.
I mean, liking validation, but having a constant need for it.
No, I don't know that I felt that.
Brad?
No, I would say no.
It depends on the person. I have a hard time when people that I look up to or respect have an issue with me or have beef with me for some reason. I don't know if you could put that in the same category.
Do you have like a compulsion to resolve it?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah.
But if it's like a schmuck.
If it's some idiot who looks like an idiot, then who cares?
Then you're not stressing about that as much.
Yeah, who cares?
Number 2, overachiever tendencies. Do you feel compelled to go beyond what you need to do and overachieve?
No.
Oh, I think I do.
Yeah?
I think I set really high expectations.
No, I think to a certain extent, once again, it kind of depends on the situation. If it's something I have more carrying desire for, then maybe, but in general, I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I definitely have a tendency to do that, but that's also to make sure that I can, if I check the scoreboard, I feel good about what the scoreboard looks like. Number 3, difficulty accepting compliments.
No.
I'm guilty of that. I don't like compliments.
I
That's not true.
think you're good at it.
Shut the heck up.
See?
I know, yeah, huh? I like compliments. Like, everybody likes compliments, but I don't know what to do with them, and I also doubt them. And I have that very problematic. I don't like the way you're nodding. You're thinking of something nice to say right now. Stop it. See, I feel like if somebody's saying something nice to me, that they're oh gosh, your face. That there's something behind it. You ever just gotten a genuinely nice compliment and they were like, no, it's like a drive-by compliment. Like, it just got put out there for no reason. But have you ever gotten a compliment that, like, you're like, oh, that's why?
Probably.
Have you ever gotten a compliment?
Oh, I'm getting ready to get a ton of them tonight. It's a war that I'm winning. It's going to be annoying. You're good at accepting random compliments.
We'll check. What are you writing? Brad?
No, I'm all right at accepting. I'm not as good as accepting as Ryan is, but I'm good at. I can handle a compliment, and I have.
Was that a compliment to Ryan? He heard that and he's like, "Thank you."
It was so middle of the road that I'm not really sure what to say back.
Yeah, it's
to
like
Brad.
there's
Ryan
an
is the
ulterior
best
motive to
at
it.
accepting compliments.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about
Okay.
it, but there is a lady that I go to church with who. It seems like I don't see her all the time, but every time that I do see her, she has something genuinely nice and heartwarming to
What
say.
a great,
and it's so amazing.
what a great characteristic. Ethan?
Do you say thanks, old lady?
No.
Okay, good.
She's not old.
Good. That would be the
Why
wrong
did
thing
you
to
assume
say.
she was old?
Because you said old.
He did not. Stop it.
Hey,
Ethan.
gaslighting.
Ethan.
Love compliments on the inside, try to deflect on the outside. Like, stop it. That's enough.
That Midwestern thing. It's like what women do. Someone says, "Oh, you have a nice dress." You're like, "Got it for $5 at Target on sale."
Has pockets.
Yeah, I know, it's like,
It was Target. It wasn't me.
why do I have to tell everybody that this dress was cheap? Just
Right.
be like, "Thank you, I like it."
Yeah. Take a page out of my playbook. Got this. It was a super expensive shirt from Dan Flash's.
Number 4, fear of failure. Do you experience a fear of failure, Brad? Ryan, you just sit on this one for a minute.
Okay.
No, I don't fear it. I failed enough to know what it's like, and then I know that I can get through it. So it doesn't. I don't want to fail, but I don't fear it.
Sage. Ethan?
I don't know if I would say it's necessarily a fear. I think that it definitely pops up on the occasion. I think it's more so specifically because I have just big goals. And,
you are on this side of life right now where everything big is happening, or it's in the windshield. It's not in the rearview mirror. We we don't have.
We're right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You know, there's still quite a bit.
We're stuck in traffic.
Still in the back seat.
Yeah. There's a lot behind us, but
So you don't.
So there is, I think, sometimes fear with lack of knowing what the future looks like.
Like, what if I don't ever get out of this bum job? So you just officially started on Tuesday.
No, I love you guys. Here's my compliment to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think it's not necessarily like a 24/7 fear. It's more of sometimes just the lack of certainty within it.
You have a fear of failure, Ryan?
no. But I am actually a little more risk averse than I probably seem.
Mm-hmm.
I like in business especially. I very much analyze all the things that could go wrong with business decisions.
That's different than just like being paralyzed by, if I do this, what if I fail? And it's stopping you.
In that sense, I don't.
You cannot fear failure in that shirt. You can't sit here and tell me that you fear failure.
I go outside and cartwheel in this shirt.
Stares at the face of fear.
Yeah, right in the ice. Number 5, struggle with self-esteem. Anybody?
A little bit.
Not at all.
No.
I definitely do. I always want to make. I'm always questioning myself and trying to be better and not feeling like I'm as good as I should be.
Your self-esteem is right where it should
Number
be.
6, exceptional generosity. You're such a jerk. Exceptional generosity. Exceptional. I'll speak slowly. Exceptional generosity.
On the giving end or the receiving end?
Yeah, you're like, I'm a huge fan of this.
Because I'm a huge fan of the receiving end.
I try to be generous.
Okay.
Do you display that behavior?
Yes. More with charitable giving and tithing and things.
Brad?
Yeah, I try to.
Try to as well.
Last one is high resilience. Do you consider yourself to be highly resilient?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Big time.
I feel like I've gotten there. Like life has kind of decided that I had to be. If you relate to a lot of these things, and I think that this is where the 80s and 90s babies are going to live a little bit different than the way we are raising our children. If you were rarely praised as a child, you probably display these 8 behaviors as an adult. And I just don't, I don't think that we did not grow up being told how great we were as a generation all of the time. But we're kind of the last kids, I think, where there isn't a constant affirmation that is trying to be pushed onto kids. Do you feel like you were praised as a child?
Not overly, but I think my parents did a good job of encouraging me.
Yeah, and you can totally overdo it too. Like I'm always trying to balance it. You want them to feel good about themselves, but you don't want them to feel better than other people.
Yeah,
so it's like, how do you balance that? And I think where we are as parents right now, we've gotten back to a place where it seems like it's a little bit better. Kind of got out of control there for a minute. Do you want to know the names of the people connected to P Diddy's alleged crimes? Do you have the results here for us, Ethan?
428 votes.
Yes.
83% say yes.
83%. All right. Well, we're going to continue to cover it here on the Annie Fry Show. Ethan, thank you for those results. Ryan, you wear the heck out of that shirt tonight. I expect wonderful pictures from the evening. Make sure you share them with us. Tweet them out. We'll retweet them. Stick around. Mark Reardon next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep, repairs drain your bank account, and with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. Truehold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993. That number again is 1-855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com. Don't wait. Call now. 1-855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com.
Warning. The following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that, and right now